R60 absolutely free. Wow, how's that for free peace of mind? We have more freebies in plumbing, router, and electrical too.
Bob Hamilton Plumbing, heating and AC. Call 888-4BOB. Remember 913.
Hi, I'm Bob Hamilton. I'm looking to recruit more of the very best technicians to grow our team of professionals. If you measure up, I'm hiring. So, better call Bob today, 888-4BOB, and don't forget the 913.
888-4BOB when you want it hassle-free.
Of course, you must have a clean driving record, pass a drug test, and background check. Like all our techs, you must be able to diagnose and fix any plumbing problem the first time.
If so, better call Bob. Join the world's greatest team of techs today.
Crossroads Investment Lending loans money for fix and flips. We're locally owned and here to make your real estate deal happen. Call 913-766-2900 or go to kclend.com.
Casey Motor Club offers a boutique-style luxury car storage for exotic, antique, sports, and classic cars. Your private membership at Casey Motor Club includes access to their lounge with TVs, a meeting area, kitchen, and outdoor seating area. Impress a client or friend. They offer car enthusiasts a climate-controlled, secure space along with a 1,000-square-foot lounge area to entertain. Casey Motor Club takes the stress out of your auto storage. Become part of an auto club that gives you the garage of your dreams. Call 816-985-6116 or online at caseymotorclub.com.
As we get ready for Super Bowl 55, we're bringing you a special Best of Sports Radio 810 Super Bowl edition Saturday from 9 to 11. You'll hear from Hall of Famers and Super Bowl MVPs like Joe Montana and Bill Cowher, plus the latest from Patrick Mahomes. And we'll talk to the man on the call for Westwood One's live coverage of the Super Bowl, Kevin Harlan, as we continue to preview the big game. It's a special Super Bowl edition of the Best of WHB, Saturday from 9 to 11 on Sports Radio 810 WHB.
Kansas City's hometown sports station, Sports Radio 810 WHB, Kansas City.
Isn't this a sports show?
When you traded Jimmy Butler and then the guy you used to, the pick that you used, I know. I'm not trained for this.
Almost entirely.
Who is that guy? Put him on speaker.
Pilot, identify yourself.
It's me!
McBank.
This is Almost Entirely Sports with Joshua Brisco.
It was fun, and then you had to complain about my music.
I would say
why?
Beard. I would say Beard.
All I ever do this is all I do this for you, Josh!
It would have been funny if you would have put the Facebook camera on you for that whole scene that you just had there.
I wanted to see the anguish in your face.
Hey, here it is.
You're the same Beard.
What kind of producer do you think I am?
A lazy one.
That's fair.
Take the show with you by listening on the Sports Radio 810 mobile app at 810WHB.com or by searching for Almost Entirely Sports wherever you get your podcasts.
I'm doing something I've never done before. I'm Googling handsome NFL quarterbacks.
This is Almost Entirely Sports on Sports Radio 810 WHB.
Oh, boys! I'm back!
For the second or third time this month, we're celebrating the return of Beards and McFly with the intro. Some of Rudy's best work whenever it's mixed well enough to hear it. Beards has been activated.
Some of my best work.
So that's fair. Beards has been activated off of the COVID-19 reserve list here at Sports Radio 810. Beards is back on the other side of the glass, which means Rudy Salazar is back on this side of, I guess, one of the panes of glass. There's still one between the two of us because things are still pretty weird out here. But Beards is back in the control room and has a second monitor now. The video feed that you're watching in any of these numbers of places should be looking crispy as heck. I would censor heck, the E in heck if I could, but I can't. Our resolution right now, I just checked on our little multi-streamer. It's back up to a respectable 1280 by 720. That's good enough. You don't need to be able to see the pimples on my face. You're close enough, all right? You can't see where, my beard gets a little patchy or where I've got this pimple by my eye. You can't see it unless you're in 4K, and we can't stream with that quality. We don't need to, though, because we got Beards. Beards has, again, the second monitor now that's vertical for some reason. It's a whole...
It takes up less space. I've got too much stuff going on back here, so it takes up less space.
That's true, and it looks like it's probably working well. The fan is louder than ever.
Oh, of course it is.
Also, these headphones are overheated in here, but I think I just fixed that. I think my ears just stopped bleeding. But it's excellent to have Beards back on that side of the glass. It's excellent to have Rudy back in here. Now, it will be worth monitoring. This is us being. This is me. I'm the only one that is volunteering this information. I'm doing it without asking Rudy's permission. Rudy, are you nervous yet?
About what? What should I need to be nervous about?
The thing I'm going to say.
That kind of makes me nervous.
The thing that I'm going to say. I just think the thing you should be nervous about is that I'm saying something explicitly without asking you about talking about it first. But it's all right.
Lord.
I think it's fine. It's just going to be interesting for the Facebook crew to see, or Facebook and Twitch and YouTube viewers to see, like, Beards, can you go ahead and flip the camera to Rudy?
I think I know where you're going with.
Yeah. So just everybody either literally or figuratively take a screenshot or a mental screen cap of Rudy right now.
Mm-hmm.
And then just in a month, I want to look at Rudy again and try to figure out if he has withered away. Because
not where I thought you were going. Actually.
Really?
I thought because I probably haven't. I don't know if I've ever worn glasses on this show before.
I'm sure you have.
Maybe. So that's what I was thinking of because I had to wear my glasses this morning because when I put my contacts in, they have to be in solution for 6 hours. I'm telling the story because it kind of goes into your story.
Yes.
Because when I got home from work last night and then went to bed, took my contacts out, and then when I had to be back here for work, 6 hours had not passed.
Yes.
So if I had put the contacts in my eyes, they would be burning.
Yes.
And when I say this stuff burns my eyes, I mean I've done it before, and I literally fell to the ground trying to claw my eyes out because it burnt so bad. I was trying to get my contact off of my eye.
Don't like that at all.
Whew. Now, when I leave them in for 6 hours, it makes my contacts feel nice and fresh. Makes my eyes feel good.
But if
5 hours and 59 minutes, I'm on the floor dying.
I wonder what that cutoff is. I mean, it's probably exactly 6 hours. Why wouldn't it be?
I always wait till 7 just to be safe. Give it an extra hour.
But the reason that I bring this up and the reason that Rudy only had 5 hours to let his contacts soak overnight is because for the month of February, Rudy...
Maybe 2 weeks of March. I'm not totally for sure.
Okay.
I've been told 2 different things there, so we'll see.
For at least the month of February, Rudy will be running the board for the Border Patrol. Mm-hmm. Now, you may think, well, that's crazy. That's the morning show. And this is the night show.
It is.
But also, Rudy has other things that he does in the middle of the day. So it's not exactly like he can go home and sleep between the 2 shows and then basically just live in an inverted... No, that's also not an option for Rudy. So you might just see... I have already preparing, maybe we have a show with Tucker just being Rudy. Maybe we have a show with Sterling or Darren or Allie being Rudy. Because I'm just sort of expecting that there are going to be days in the upcoming month where you are a husk of a man who just needs to go lay down for 14 hours.
It seems likely. I feel surprisingly pretty good today.
Day 1.
Well, I did this yesterday too.
Day 2, you're right.
Now, today is easier than yesterday because I was running a KU game, so I was for 5 hours the only person in the building. And just in general, regardless of how many hours you worked, you're a little bit more sleepy when you're the only person in a building, right?
That's true.
You're not really interacting with people. Obviously, this helps not feel so tired when I'm interacting. But yeah, it's day 2.
We're gonna
also G Fuel.
Let's at least sort of track Rudy's yawns. Probably not today, and you seem like you're doing pretty good today. But we're just gonna keep an eye on this. Yeah. Just an almost entirely sports storyline to keep an eye on for the next month.
I yawn a lot in general.
That's true. You're a big yawner.
I don't know why. I think it's almost like a nervous tick kind of thing where especially when I don't know when I'm not doing something, if I'm just staying still, my body yawns. I think it's almost so I can do something with my hands, right?
Maybe
I think it is a nervous tick. I used to have coaches yell at me because I yawned during halftime of a basketball game. And then after a year, they kind of realized, oh yeah, no, he just does this.
Yeah, so one thing I've noticed recently, and this is really good you can leave it there, but it's fine. You don't need to pan it up. The Facebook and YouTube and Twitch viewers can just look at my torso. I have noticed that during, I've watched a few clips from the Pat McAfee show because I'm just very interested. Go ahead and stand up, Rudy. I think this will be nice. He stands up a lot. He stands up. He stands up and does. He can sit down, but he has a standing during the radio thing. And I think it probably makes you more tired by the end. But the energy level's got to be pretty good because you're just kind of moving around and just having these radio conversations.
I mean, I guess it's kind of like the people who have the desk that lets them stand up
Standing
at work,
desk,
right?
Absolutely.
And so you're just you're up and moving. Maybe I need to get an exercise ball.
Oh, wow. Keep your core engaged. I think I did this for, Beards is standing up also now. It's good. This is just a standing show.
We stand now.
We just stand for this show now.
This is what we do.
I think this might be a good energy. Here's what we're going to do. Here's the new bit.
Oh, no.
That Rudy's microphone just fell away from him. Sometimes I'm just going to say stand up, and we're going to do a segment standing and see what it does for our energy.
I don't hate it.
I
don't hate it.
I kind of like the very like engaged sort of like I'm about to take off running sort of position that I'm in right now.
I'm almost a little too tall for the mic, but it's easily I can hold it, right?
That is
keep it up.
That is a challenge.
I can hold it up to my face. That's not a problem. Because if I let go, it runs away.
Listen, whenever you can't keep it up, we do have ads for that. Beards had already marked it before I'd even said that. So we'll see if the standing radio thing sticks. I'm kind of feeling it right now, to be honest. But I got pretty good energy right now because I got two forms of energy. I got Friday energy and I got pre-Super Bowl energy.
Ooh,
but it's not like Friday before the Super Bowl energy.
I've also got a third energy.
Wow, G Fuel?
No, I've actually got them in the fridge. The commercial break.
I got taco energy.
I got taco energy.
I got taco energy. That's a whole thing. You have to stick around to find out why we have taco energy at 7. It's not just because we had tacos for dinner, which we also did. Beards, I'm sorry for not inviting you to the taco thing.
There's no way Beards
You
likes
probably
tacos.
don't like tacos, and we didn't know that you were going to be back whenever that
That's
got
okay.
planned.
That's fine.
So.
Beards, you like tacos?
Not really.
Yeah, I didn't think so.
What about a fried chicken taco?
Take out the taco.
I'm sitting back down for the sake of the cameras that we work so hard to set up and have a good experience for. Someone on Facebook said, I like the standing view. Artsy. Still can't tell who that is because I continue.
forgot to do that today.
That's your mom.
Is it? Thanks, Mom. I thought it might be just because of the word artsy there.
See, the funny thing is, like, for some people, when somebody would say, like, that's your mom, it's like a joke or an insult. For you, it's your mom watches everything.
She's just on Facebook sometimes.
My mom used to, and she really hasn't lately. And honestly,
I think
she just kind of stopped loving me.
I think my mom would admit she's dropped off a little bit, I think my mom would admit that she's around for most of the Facebook streams. That's fine. You shouldn't be around for all of them. That's unhealthy. I don't even want to be here for all of them.
That's true.
Sometimes Rudy talks. I want to get out of here.
I definitely don't want to be here for all of them.
You can watch this show on the Sports Radio 810 WHB Facebook, Twitch, and YouTube channels. And I think we're going to have some good shows in the next month. I don't know if it will be with Rudy's corpse or with his living body. But either way, I think it'll be pretty good. I really do, though. I've got the taco energy. I've got the Friday energy. Mm-hmm. And I really do have sort of like the still a little too far away to taste it, but it's coming around Super Bowl energy. The whole thing is different, right? Like we've got the pandemic, and if they win, we're not going to have the parade that we had last time. And if they don't win, that'll stink. And right now they're in Tampa, but you can't. It's not a full radio row because there's a pandemic and all that stuff. It's weird in a lot of ways. But there's one thing about this game that I've been meaning to sort of like spend a sort of a first segment conversation on here for a little while. It's come up a little bit. We've talked about it some with Seth, and I've talked about it now in other places. Like I was on KLWN with Nick Schwert earlier today, who does a great job, by the way. This show is just going to be about promoting other people's shows for an unforeseen period of time.
Nick is very good at his job.
He really is. And there's
it's
a lot
time
of
for
people
him to move up. I think I know of a evening radio show in Kansas City that might be up.
Where you think maybe like you and Beards like work with him on like a nightly basis,
that's what he wants.
Interesting. Or are you saying that is this your letter of resignation? And that your spot is open. But I talked about it with him earlier today, and I keep going back to this because I genuinely think it's it's incredibly interesting. It's the most interesting storyline that is not directly baked into who's going to win and lose the game. This storyline is not going to change the outcome like the Chiefs' offensive line, like Chris Jones, like Vita Vea. There are matchups that are going to impact the game. But in terms of big macro storylines, I think this one is genuinely my favorite. I have to attribute this to Nick Wright and Kevin Clark were talking about it on Slow News Day. I think I've mentioned that on this show already. The show is great. The segment is great. I'm promoting other people's work again. Listen to Almost Entirely Sports and nothing else, and you'll know what else is good, but you don't have to actually listen to it. Just listen to us.
Because we'll tell you. We'll tell you what's good about it.
Yeah, we'll just skip to the good part.
Yeah.
Write Cliff's Notes for everything else.
Mm-hmm. Send in your suggestions of what you need Cliff Notes for.
Absolutely. Gotcha. I'm so willing to do that. But they were talking about this from sort of like a legacy standpoint. And the comparison that Nick made was, what if instead of losing to the Dallas Mavericks in the NBA Finals, what if LeBron had lost to Michael Jordan's Wizards? How would that have changed? Beards just gave us the slightest smirk because he just had the thought of MJ beating LeBron head-to-head. It's the only... Beards hasn't felt anything in months, but he did just now.
I'm trying to think how old Jordan would have been then, just for fun.
Well,
it never would have happened.
Well, you can do all of that you want. Obviously, Beards, we have
Hold
to...
on, I'm going to pull up that team. I want to pull up that...
That's fine.
Team.
You can do that while I'm talking,
yeah,
though, right?
That's what I'm doing.
So, obviously, you have to bend the rules. You would have to have bent the rules to say, what if Joe Montana's Chiefs team would have beaten Tom Brady in his first Super Bowl? That would have changed the narrative about all of those guys so much, but you would have had to have bent reality to make Montana still playing for the Chiefs at that time and for Jordan to be with the Wizards and them to be good and all that stuff, right? You don't have to bend the rules to make that an actual thing next Sunday. Brady versus Mahomes this Sunday is literally that. It is the greatest, most successful thing we've ever seen in the sport, going up against the guy who seems primed to take that from him. And so I don't think this is necessarily good or even reasonable, but Tom Brady has 6 Super Bowls right now. Patrick Mahomes has 1. This one, for the conversation of Mahomes versus Brady that we're going to be having 10 years from now, that conversation is going to so heavily rely on what happens a week from Sunday. Because this one is going to count for 2, essentially, in that head-to-head matchup. Because you're either going to have Patrick Mahomes essentially lose 2 Super Bowls to Tom Brady, because that AFC Championship game, we think whatever AFC team would have beaten the Rams, the Patriots won it. I think the Chiefs probably would have won it if they wouldn't have gotten beaten by Brady's Patriots. It's Mahomes' only playoff loss to this point, by the way. And then you have this one where you say Brady's Bucks beat him head-to-head, and then Brady retires, or he doesn't win another one, but he plays pretty well in Tampa, whatever. Well, then Brady has 7 to Mahomes' 1, and they never play again. Or if they do play again, with TBD when they get there. Or it becomes 6-2. Mahomes has 2 and 3 years as a starter. He has essentially vanquished Tom Brady. He finally dealt the killing blow to the dragon. Mm-hmm. And the dragon finally dies. And then Mahomes slayed him. He's the knight in shining armor. And whenever in 10 years we're talking about, what if Mahomes has 5 rings whenever he retires? Well, Brady has 6, but Mahomes' second took 1 away from Brady. He had that head-to-head advantage the last time we remember watching the 2 of them play. Or if it ends up 6-6, well, they both have 6 rings, but Mahomes got 1 over Brady, and he won so many so early in his career, whatever.
But it was an old Brady!
And that we'll have to do that, but it's still a version of Tom Brady that was in the MVP conversation at points this year. It's not Patriots Brady, but it's Brady with a bunch of weapons. It's Brady that got there. We'll hear some of that, but this certainly isn't. This isn't. Honestly, this isn't even Peyton Manning's second Super Bowl win. You know, where that was a husk of him.
And like, this is not meant to make Beards like take a shot at Beards or Michael Jordan.
He just
this
got
is
back.
not Michael Jordan with the Wizards.
Beards just
version,
got
right?
Beards just got
like
back.
This is Tom Brady still playing at a crazy high level.
Stop dunking on Beards.
Jordan wasn't that good on the Wizards. I can admit that.
Okay, yeah. I mean, he wasn't a bad player.
No.
But the point being, Brady's still playing at a really high level. Like,
he looks better this year than he did with the Patriots last year.
Yeah, like
I can say that confidently.
He is airing the ball. Like they are. He went from his last few years, especially with New England. I think he always kind of did this in New England, where it was shorter passes. But especially once they lost Randy Moss, like there was very little deep threat, so it was largely shorter. This year, he's throwing the ball down the field. And part of that's Bruce Arians' offense. That's what he likes to do.
It's the offense and the weapons, but he's doing it.
They have the offense line protect him.
Sure.
He's showing he can still play. Like, and this is getting way too far ahead, and there's a lot of, hey, let's enjoy this because we get to see Brady, Mahomes in the Super Bowl. Something we didn't think would happen.
Didn't enjoy that.
Because we thought Brady was always going to be with the Patriots.
Yeah.
But, like, also, Brady's going to be back next year. If you told me the Chiefs and the Bucs were in the Super Bowl again next year, I wouldn't be shocked.
If that happens, that will change this conversation. At least, although I'll tell you,
but for now though,
if Brady
we
wins,
are seeing the thing that we never thought we would see.
If Brady wins this one and it becomes 7-1, even if it's 7-2 and then they're even, then now all of a sudden Mahomes is still -5.
Yeah,
that's
7,
crazy.
And again, I think because he's been pretty. Not content, but determined to play till he's 45, right?
Yep.
And part of that is he's building up all like his post-life business.
Mm-hmm.
TB12 is that's the thing he plans on making money with when he's not playing football.
Right.
And to be able to sit here and say, hey, I could play football, professional football until I was 45.
Mm-hmm.
Clearly, drinking 36 glasses of water a day and not eating strawberries is the key to
all
life.
it took was water, avocado ice cream, and an extensive amount of plastic surgery.
Like that's all he needed.
Yeah.
And so it's just like I am confident he'll be back next year. But again, we are seeing the thing that we never thought we'd see. And you don't get this in sports often.
And the repercussions of it, the ripple effect that's going to come from it is going to literally, and this is not an exaggeration, and this is more so than any other Super Bowl, it is literally going to echo throughout history. Because it's going to be the thing that even further cements Brady's legacy and makes him even more impossible for Mahomes to catch up to, or it's going to be Mahomes taking one more Jenga block out of the Brady tower and making it to where he's a little bit closer to being able to topple that.
This is by far the most important game I think either of them have played, which for Mahomes, I mean, it's not saying anything, but this is third-year start. For Brady, it's saying a lot because of how long he's been in the league.
Yeah.
But this might also be the biggest game either of them ever played, because for Brady, it's a chance to have more Super Bowl wins than every other franchise in NFL history.
It's incredible.
That is wild. And for Mahomes, it's a chance to, again, it's taking down the bad guy. Like, it's taking down the villain. It is the thing that, again, where he doesn't have to get to six championships to necessarily surpass Brady. He just needs to get to like 5.
Listen, I've been gone for 2 weeks, so
Sure.
I've got all the NBA comparisons. You said Michael Jordan's the Wizards versus LeBron in the Heat. We've actually seen this almost kind of in the same way. When Michael Jordan in the 1991 finals went up against Magic Johnson and the Lakers, there was no Kareem on that team. This was Johnson's last year before HIV, and he had to retire after that. He was 31. He was still second in MVP voting that year, though. But, hopefully, this is a repeat of that because they freaking swept the Lakers and crushed them. No, they won in 5. I'm sorry. They won in 5.
How dare you?
Sorry. Listen, I've been gone for 2 weeks.
What is even your point if you don't remember how many games were in the what year?
What have you been doing?
What year?
1991.
What is even the point of your existence on this earth if you don't know how many games came in the 1991 NBA Finals?
I'm sorry.
What have you been
are
doing
scum
for
on
2
my
weeks?
shoe.
What I'm saying is hopefully that Patrick Mahomes is Michael Jordan in this scenario.
Hopefully, I would love that, actually.
That would be great.
Yeah.
The issue is if Mahomes is Jordan, then in 15 years, there's going to be a younger, better quarterback that we're going to be very defensive about, even though he's clearly the greatest player of all time.
And he'll make a better movie than Patrick Mahomes will.
Definitely. Was Tom Brady? Tom Brady was in that Paul Rudd TV show, right?
Tom Brady.
I don't remember.
He was definitely in him. He was in something.
No, because didn't he have a cameo outside of a massage parlor? I think that happened.
So Tom Brady was in an episode. He was in both the movie Entourage and the TV show Entourage. He was on something called Stuck on You.
Living with Yourself, the Paul Rudd show.
Then I also forgot he was in Ted 2 because that's when Mark Wahlberg and his stuffed teddy bear break into Tom Brady's house to steal his his inner water.
Yeah, well, inner water is a funny way of.
Yeah, it felt like the right way.
I'm trying to figure out if there's
He was also in an episode of Family Guy and The Simpsons.
Was it? I have not seen Ted 2.
I haven't seen.
I saw the first one. It's
the
pretty
first
good.
one, I love the first one.
First one was
very
fun.
funny.
First one was
I have
pretty
not seen the second one.
In Ted 2.
I believe that's how he's in the movie.
Oh yeah, here it says.
Because he's
that's right.
sleeping in bed and they break into his house
and he to steal
his inner water
and not urine.
Inner water.
I imagine they're trying to make a super football baby. Would be my guess.
He
Maybe
was trying
is that the plot point?
Okay, let me rephrase. He was trying to steal his inner avocado ice cream. Better, got it.
So they were deflating his balls?
Beards is back!
Want more Almost Entirely Sports? Watch the show live on the Sports Radio 810 Facebook page.
As Kansas City gets ready for the big game, we're pushing out deals, deals, deals on award-winning Acura SUVs and sedans. For a limited time, score jaw-dropping lease deals and low APR offers on the all-new 2021 TLX sedan and the 2021 RDX crossover SUV. The MVP has arrived. Pre-order the all-new redesigned 3-row 2022 MDX SUV and experience the future of luxury performance. Visit your Kansas City Acura dealers today and go KC.
What's Valentine's Day all about anyway? This year, whether it's a new crush or your soulmate, make it about love. Give a gift of fine jewelry that can be personalized just for her. Why not engrave the date you met on a 14-karat gold heart? Or give her a gorgeous pendant necklace with her birthstone or a color she loves. Shane Company's natural sapphires have exceptional vibrancy, and we have over a dozen colors. Or build her a necklace of meaningful charms, an engravable gold disc, a diamond-accented letter charm, and a gemstone charm in her favorite color. It's a love letter she can wear every day. No matter your price range, we'll help you personalize any gift. On February 14th, your thoughtful gift will touch her heart. Now you have a friend in the jewelry business. Shane Company and ShaneCo.com.
Are you ready, Kansas City? Our favorite team is heading to Tampa, and we're ready to enter the red zone at Red Door Grill. Celebrate the big game with big flavors. Pre-order the famous charred wood-fired wings or keep it fresh with one of the all-new handcrafted salads. Made from scratch, tossed to perfection, guaranteed to be a fan favorite. Get 20 of the wood-fired wings for $25 or 100 for just $100. So what are you waiting for, KC? Order online today at reddoorgrill.com or download the new app.
The Chiefs are going back to the Super Bowl.
Super Bowl 55 is coming to America's largest all-sports radio station. Sports Radio 810, WHB.
The road to repeat for Kansas City will run through Tampa.
As the Chiefs get set to run it back. Follow all the action right here on your home for the NFL playoffs and the Super Bowl. Sports Radio 810, WHB.
When you're thinking about New Orleans, why not let jazz cook for you?
Laissez le bon temps rouler. Let the good times roll. That's what we do at Jazz. Papa Vic here to tell you about what's happening at your favorite restaurant, Jazz, a Louisiana kitchen. COVID still got you down? No worries. We're open. Come in and let Jazz cook for you. We've partnered with Proactive Protect to provide nanotechnology protection that sanitizes all our tables, chairs, and the interior of the restaurant. So come on in. Everybody is safe. Tired of your mama's cooking? Check out our website, jazzkitchens.com, and place your order online or through MenuFi. Not comfortable coming in? Check out our dedicated curbside parking spots, and we'll bring the taste of New Orleans to your car. 3 locations, the original at 39th and State Line, and at Legends of Village West, our newest location in Independence at I-70 and 291, just east of the Cable Dahmer Arena. Jazz, with a Dixieland band and a sultry day and everybody.
Jazz, if you're dreaming about New Orleans, that Jazz do your cooking up for you.
Jazz, where there's always a party every night.
Hi, this is Bob Scott, store director from Henhouse Markets. We want to take a moment to thank all the 810 listeners who have supported us throughout the years. We look forward to continuing to support you and the communities we serve for years to come. From our Henhouse family to yours, thank you so much.
Hi, this is Philip Sternad, the general manager of the Hilton President Hotel. We just wanted to thank all the 810 listeners for their support throughout the year. It's been a tough year, but we're looking forward to a better 2021, and we can't wait to see you all down here in the Power and Light District and here at the Hilton President Hotel.
You're listening to Almost Entirely Sports.
Read that something again.
Gortat tweets Wall would torture Ball for 48 minutes.
Yeah, sorry, that was the roadblock
Wall
that I
will
hit.
torture Ball, okay.
With Joshua Brisco.
48 minutes of ball torture, man.
We were all thinking it.
I want to do it. I don't know if I was, but
on Sports Radio 810 WHB.
Whole bunch of stuff to get to today. We'll talk to Matt Verderame of Fansided here in 30 minutes. Mick Shaffer will close out the week with us here in an hour and a half. But there is a question on the Facebook page, and it was what I wanted to get to next here with the Chiefs. In fact, I think I'm going to give you an angle on this that I don't think I've seen. I haven't seen it or heard it anywhere else yet, and I'm probably going to say it in a way that is going to be controversially taken, I suppose, but I'm going to do it anyway. But so someone on Facebook asked about the injuries that have happened this week, and I know the Chiefs had an advantage and whatnot. The biggest news is that Willie Gay tore his meniscus. It's like a 4-month recovery, so he's going to be out for the entirety of obviously this next couple weeks, the Super Bowl, a whole bunch of the offseason, and then try to get back in time for training camp and whatnot. And he should, timeline wise, but it looked like he was going to be able to come back from his ankle injury that he suffered in Week 17 early on against the Chargers. Not the case. And disappointing because it would have been nice to have another really athletic linebacker in this group. But what you saw the Chiefs do against the Bills was play very few linebacker snaps, mostly Anthony Hitchens when he was out there, but even he wasn't out there all that often, something like 70% of the time. Ben Neiman and Damian Wilson played small portions of the snaps, and you got a lot of super light sets with Dan Sorensen and a lot of, L'Jarius Sneed along with Bashad Breeland, Trevarius Ward, and all that. Obviously, Thornhill played quite a bit, and Tyrann Mathieu and Dan Sorensen both played 100% of the snaps, but those guys moved around. I actually asked Seth about this. I wish I would have asked about it Tuesday, but I didn't catch it by Tuesday, so I asked him about it yesterday. And he was saying, Thornhill was coming in, and then Sorensen was doing other stuff, even though Sorensen was the one that was always on the field. Anyway, not having Willie Gay is unfortunate because, especially against the Bucs, way more likely to run it, especially on first down. The Buccaneers are going to try to test the Chiefs' super light defensive set by just running the ball some to see if the Chiefs can keep pace with that. They did against the Bills, but the Bills run it less frequently than the Bucs like to. Here's what the Willie Gay thing made me think of. And again, I'm going to try to couch this in a way that doesn't make a whole bunch of people upset with me at the same time. But here's the good part. The Kansas City Chiefs are in the Super Bowl.
Yay!
We're good on all of that. Okay, everybody good? The Kansas City Chiefs are in the Super Bowl.
Woo!
They can't even see each other. They just nailed that bit, just so everyone knows. So Kansas City's in the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
And they got there with little to no meaningful impact from their first, second, and third round draft picks. Now, I am going to make the first part here clear because I really don't particularly love having this conversation from the 97th time. I'm putting Clyde Edwards-Helaire in that bucket as well. He got way more work than the other two guys that I'll get to in a second. Analytically speaking, he was largely indiscernible from Darrell Williams, and then even, it seemed like he was better than Le'Veon Bell, but Le'Veon just didn't get a ton of work. And he was fine. Clyde was fine.
Had good moments, largely was average.
Had some good moments. Was largely average, I think is fine. And I think every running back in this offense was going to be largely average with some moments. Anyway, my sort of harshness there is way more of an indictment on the position than specifically Clyde. I really do not have any personal vendetta against Clyde Edwards-Helaire. He seems like a good dude who I would hang out with, and then he would tase me. But Clyde did not, at the very least, I think we can say, with one game still to go, that Clyde didn't change the offense in any of the ways that optimists were trying to sell that the offense might change into with his addition. Willie Gay, as much as and that's a pick that I really, really liked, Willie Gay never became a large part of the defense, even as we kind of kept saying, all right, well, in a month, they're gonna really get to him. All right, well, come October, Willie Gay. All right, well, come November. Okay, in December. Well, in the playoff. And then he got hurt in Week 17, and it really threw everything off. I'm very optimistic about Willie Gay going forward still, but he just could not totally get over that hump, it seemed like. I don't know if that's more on him or more on Spags, but regardless, he just never got that kind of usage. Lucas Niang literally we got nothing out of him this year. His rookie contract will just kick back another year, so the Chiefs are going to have him under contract for the same amount of time they would have, or I guess for an additional year, depending on how you think about it. But he was the offensive tackle out of TCU. He was the Chiefs' third-round draft pick. I remind you of that because he opted out, and we just never heard from him again since then. And by the way, the Chiefs really could have used some depth at tackle.
I've forgotten about him. I was thinking about this, might have been last night driving home or the last time we had a show driving home. Just like, it just like entered in my brain all of a sudden. I was like, oh yeah.
Yeah.
Lucas Niang is a player the Chiefs drafted.
Yep. And he
totally forgot about him.
He really could become a player next year.
Absolutely.
Especially if Mitchell Schwartz retires or if they end up trying to do something outside of Eric Fisher. Maybe they go in the next year and they say, we're going to go with Fisher, Rimmers, and then have Niang.
Fisher's with a torn Achilles. It's I would say it's likely he's not starting week 1.
Very good chance.
And so Lucas Niang, and maybe it's Rimmers, right, because maybe they feel comfortable there, but also Lucas Niang's going to have a chance to come right in and start left tackle.
Also, Rimmers is going to have a chance to go make more money somewhere else. He's played well
good.
This year.
Yeah.
But so they get nothing out of Niang. 4th-round pick is Sneed, literal defensive rookie of the year candidate if Chase Young didn't exist and he didn't get hurt. I mean, you can make that argument for second-place defensive rookie of the year for Lucas Niang behind only Chase Young.
Do we ever see the voting results for that?
They are not out yet, so we might. I think there's a good chance that Chase Young is unanimous. The official NFL ones happened the day before the Super Bowl. So some of those awards have come out. Pro Football Writers Association, I think, has come out, and I think AP may have. I'm not sure, but the NFL Honors one will be the NFL Honors show is the day before the Super Bowl.
And just so somebody doesn't start typing in and yelling at you, Chase Young won over L'Jarius Sneed, not Lucas Niang.
Is that what I said?
You did the second time.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I would rather you correct me than 50 texters.
I would only jump in because, Josh knows, but I figured all of a sudden we have a bunch of texts.
No, I would rather you correct me than 10 texters. L'Jarius Sneed could get Rookie of the Year votes, Defensive Rookie of the Year votes, or at least I don't even know if those ballots. I think those ballots are just one vote, and so it could be unanimous for Chase Young.
Chase Young is just,
and that makes sense. Mike Dana had a couple of nice moments, like he's becoming a rotational piece, and then Bo Pete Keys, I think, was active maybe just in week 17. I'm not sure.
I think there was one other game that he was, but I think it was literally like 2 games this year.
And he definitely not meaningful snaps.
I think it was when L'Jarius Sneed, like one game after L'Jarius Sneed had broken his
That might be right. He may have been active in that
games.
injury. Yeah, I think that might be right. But I don't think he ever got defensive snaps in those games. He did in week 17. And then Turk Wharton, the undrafted free agent, he did make an impact. But I've also been thinking a little bit about NFL draft stuff already. Because Jordan Foote, who we've had on this show, he's doing a series over on Arrowhead Report where he is literally, it's called 100 and 100, and he is scouting one player a day, one draft prospect a day for 100 days leading up to the NFL draft. It's the stupidest idea I've ever heard, and God bless him for it.
Real fast,
that dude's doing work right now.
Bo Pete Keys got defensive snaps in 3 games, 8 snaps in 1, 3 snaps in a second, and then in week 17 he got 68.
So not meaningful snaps.
He did play in 8 games overall, but most of that was as
special teams
player.
Yeah. So the one reason, there are 2 reasons I'm sort of connecting these dots. One is because I've been reading Jordan's scouts and been thinking about, how do we talk about the NFL draft? Well, it can be a bit of a crapshoot. Obviously, again, Niang is very unique to this year, and Clyde was a surprising pick to me, and then whatever. But you get these guys, and we obsess over them before the draft, during the draft, after the draft for a while. And the Chiefs are back in the Super Bowl without getting any really, really impact. No rookies changed their team. Tershawn Wharton basically knocked Colin Saunders out of the rotation defensively. Clyde Edwards-Helaire was the starting running back, but he wasn't Derrick Henry or Christian McCaffrey or whatever in their varying situations. Willie Gay, I think, has a high ceiling still, but just never broke in. And the other reason I mentioned that is to say all of that, and they're back in the Super Bowl. Please clap.
Yay!
Woo! They made it all the way back without getting impact from the place that you expect even the best teams who aren't signing a bunch of free agents and whatnot, where you're expecting them to be able to get impact. I mean, I really think, again, Willie Gay and Lucas Niang could have major impacts in years to come. They both had arguments for being a first-round talent level guy, but Willie Gay didn't play that many snaps and had some off-the-field stuff in Mississippi State. Lucas Niang got hurt and didn't look quite the same, but he looked great before the injury, and it just seems like he was playing through that injury in a way that just limited what he could do. Really optimistic about both of those guys, but they had almost no impact at all on this season, and the Chiefs are still here again. And I just thought that was kind of an interesting perspective to put things into.
Where are they at?
The Chiefs?
Yeah. Where are they at this year?
So currently they're still in Kansas City.
Uh-huh.
And I think on Thursday...
So where are they at in, like, the NFL season?
I think on Thursday, I think they'll fly to Tampa Bay.
Why would they do that?
That's because that's where they're going to play in the Super Bowl.
Woo!
I think. Pretty sure.
Woo. I hope so.
95%.
Woo?
Super Bowl.
Maybe woo.
Woo. I just thought that was interesting. I just thought that was an angle in this season that I had not really spent any time thinking about until the Willie Gay news came. I was like, well, he's not going to have a big Super Bowl moment. Maybe Clyde will, but like sort of like Damian Williams also did. So I'm not really letting that make or break how I feel at this point. But
I think it's interesting too.
Interesting.
And I think, like obviously for this team to have success, like it really simply comes down to whether or not Mahomes is healthy. To have long-term success, obviously you want to draft well because eventually guys are just going to get old. They're going to, they're going to leave. And the Chiefs have done
You're
that.
Not going to be able to afford all of those guys
and
forever.
The Chiefs, and that's kind of what makes this year a little weird. And by no means is it a bad draft because, again, Willie Gay, I think, is going to be like an impact player in the league. Lucas Niang seems like a guy who will be a starting tackle in this league for quite some time. L'Jarius Sneed looks like he could be a dominant corner for a long time. At the very least, Clyde Edwards-Helaire seems like he can be an average running back for a long running back period of time.
Mm-hmm.
That's a pretty good draft. It's just but there is a sense too of like we've seen recently, like with Juan Thornhill, McCole Hardman last year, and just some of the other guys that they've drafted where they've been getting a ton of like immediate impacts from high draft picks, and we didn't see that quite as much this year.
Well, and again, I mean, I think you clarified this already, but this is not me passing judgment on the draft class. Yeah. It's pointing out kind of the craziness of the fact that they are back in the Super Bowl.
Woo!
What was that? It's kind of a yell.
Added some flair to it.
They're back in the big game without getting an impact, a sizable impact from that group, which again is just a hard thing to do, even though I do remain relatively optimistic about the rest of the class. Sneed obviously being the outlier.
One thing I did remember as you were having that discussion, I think I had read on ESPN, they ranked all of the all of the rookie classes from this year, and I believe they had the Chiefs 4th.
That's crazy.
So that's pretty good.
That's insane.
For not getting that much impact from them.
That's the first.
And that they're still in the Super Bowl.
That's the first draft. I wonder what the metric of that is, or if it's by snaps. There's no way it's by snaps.
I'll see if I can find it again.
Yeah, I would love that. If it is subjective, it's because they drafted a player who went in the first round of a lot of fantasy drafts.
Somebody texted in basically saying what you said was a bad take because what about L'Jarius Sneed? I just want to point out he mentioned that Josh mentioned.
I talked about Sneed like 5 times. This segment started by me saying they got no production out of their first 3 round picks.
Yeah. L'Jarius Sneed is a great draft pick regardless of what round he was drafted at because he's performed at a first-round talent.
Totally.
It is an amazing draft pick when you get that guy in the 4th round. And Brett Veach even said
that pick is a 5-star A+ golden lock. That's again, this segment literally started by me saying they got no meaningful production out of their first 3 draft picks, their first, second, and third round picks. Theoretically, the most valuable picks here, and then Sneed was excellent.
Yeah, those are the 3 rounds that when we look at drafts, those are the rounds that we expect.
And they're the only ones you expect first-year impacts from. It's why Tershawn Wharton and Lucas and L'Jarius Sneed are such big
players
achievements.
Are meant to be special teams guys. And you
hope they
developmental
guys.
You hope they develop, but they are meant to come in and help on special teams.
And Sneed got way ahead of schedule.
Oh, yeah.
And has been excellent.
I found the article. It was by. It was with the help of Pro Football and their quote wins above replacement their wins above replacement metric. So first was the Bengals, second was the Colts,
quarterback,
third was the Bucks,
running back,
and then the fourth Fourth was the Chiefs. So, yeah, they were fourth.
When was that published?
That was...
There's no chance on ever living hell that the Chiefs had a higher WAR from their rookies than the Chargers
This morning?
did. There's no... That doesn't make any sense.
Maybe the...
Chargers were 6th. Washington was 5.
I'd say maybe the Chargers, just other picks.
Those both make sense. I'm very curious
Tampa
to look
Bay
at
had a... I forgot how good Tampa Bay's draft was.
I'm very curious to look at how
Do you want me to send you guys the article?
I have
that
it.
That would be great. I'm sure I can find it.
Yeah, they're running through Pro Football Focus. That's I'm very interested to see.
Just Google ESPN NFL Rankings.
I'm on it, and I'm remembering that I don't have ESPN Plus anymore.
Oh, I have it.
Whoops.
I'll give you my username, Pastor Josh. It's at not that Rudy. Password is JB Brisco with an E.
Huh. Your password has a typo in it.
I don't think so.
Seems like it does.
I don't know.
Yeah, I'm curious. I mean, I wonder if that, can you see then, because they have like their logic there. Is that just Sneed being super, super impactful?
Yeah, the one
Because Willie Gay, and I mean, Lucas Niang is literally 0. Willie Gay would be very, very limited, and I'm not willing to say that Clyde Edwards-Helaire added wins to the Chiefs' season.
The one I clicked on was like individual players.
Well, that's too bad. Why don't we take
do you want me to read the section?
Yes,
They
I would
have an
love.
actual
I would
section
love
right
the
there.
why they're ranked here section.
Why they are ranked here. Taking running back in the first round is something we at Pro Football Focus would never condone, but the Chiefs made up for it with a couple of value picks later on.
Okay, that
Linebacker
tracks.
Willie Gay,
And they're probably
quarterback L'Jarius
counting
Sneed suppressed
Wharton.
their expected season WAR.
Willie Gay did?
Yes.
I'm struggling to
I
find
wonder
this
what.
for some reason.
I wonder what the. I wonder what Willie Gay's expectation
Their
was.
best value pick, it says, was Sneed.
100%.
Yes.
No. If you said that Sneed alone dragged this group way, way up, that obviously I'm 100% here for.
From a value standpoint, just placing more emphasis on late round draft picks who turned out to be good. Like Sneed might be the best pick in the draft by that sense. Now, by the real sense,
Wharton being an
Herbert,
undrafted free
Burrow.
agent that got a lot of work is also hugely important.
They also have a section, how their top pick fared. Do you want that read or not?
Not really.
Okay.
He was an average running back.
He was adequate.
He is an average running back. The only place you can find average running backs is in the first round.
He was 20th out of 63 qualifying running backs.
Yeah.
Pretty good.
That seems about right.
Pretty good.
It's about that feels right.
Not impactful.
The
in
highest I would have guessed would have probably been like 16,
any
17.
meaningful way. So I feel pretty good about that. Sneed is a diamond. I mean, that unquestionably. I said this a few shows ago, maybe not even a month ago at this point. L'Jarius Sneed has made me feel some things that I have not felt since the sockless man was jettisoned out of Kansas City. Since Voldemort was vanquished. Because Sneed has a little bit of that, like, flying to the turnover kind of vibe sometimes, and he's just been he's way more versatile than Voldemort was, because Voldemort was an outside corner that was out there getting interceptions. Sneed's all over the field. He's been excellent as the nickel guy, slot guy, whatever. He's been fabulous.
Getting Bashad Breeland back is so big because it just frees him up to be that kind of almost jack box cornerback where you can have
Jack box of all trades.
Jack of all trades, yeah,
sure,
yeah, sure. That kind of cornerback, which is rare. You don't typically see that for the cornerback. Usually, there's like a. I think they call him as a defensive line position buck, which is the guy who is basically like, hey, just go hit the guy with the ball.
That
right?
was what it made sense for Willie Gay to do, and never fully really happened.
And he kind of does that from the cornerback spot, which is, I think, pretty unique.
Yeah.
And he does it so well.
We got to take a break. We'll do that. Matt Verderame in about 10 minutes. We'll talk about something else, or maybe more of this whenever we come back.
At JB Brisco, at Beards McFly, at Not That Rudy, at Sports Radio 810. Just do it already.
A reading from the Golden Oak Lending Book of Mortgage Lingo. What is Zipline? It's Golden Oak's fast and easy online mortgage tool that leaves you with more time to plan a family movie night.
I get to pick the movie.
And clean up the popcorn you weren't planning on sharing. At Golden Oak Lending, we speak mortgage and love translating it. Right now, rates are at a historic low 2.5%. Visit goldenoaklending.com to use Zipline. NMLS 114937, 2.5% fixed, 2.655% APR on a conventional 15-year mortgage with 30% equity and approved credit. JLB Corporation, 8595 College Boulevard, Overland Park, Kansas.
Hi, I'm Fred Ramsey. And I'm Mark Tobin. Hey, folks, if you're not busy Saturday mornings from 6 to 7 a.m., well, I hope you'll join us for the Midwest Outdoors, brought to you by Reed Chevrolet, St. Joe.
Join us and our expert guests, and we'll be talking about hunting and fishing, dog training. We'll give you tips, pass along stories, and most important, share some laughs along the way.
That's right. We cover it all, from crappie to waterfowl, and we'll tell you how to cook it, too.
The Midwest Outdoors, brought to you by Reed Chevrolet, Saturday morning, 6 a.m. to 7 a.m., right here on Sports Radio 810 WHB.
Welcome to Elevated Automotive, Kansas City's most exciting new dealership. Infinity of Kansas City has acquired Nissan to deliver Elevated Automotive, an impeccable experience featuring 2 smart and luxurious brands in one convenient location at I-35 and 67th Street, continuing the 5-star treatment and sales experience clients have come to expect from Infinity of Kansas City. Visit Kansas City's premier automotive shopping and service experience in the expanded Infinity of Kansas City showroom under their new name, Elevated Automotive. Follow online on Facebook, Insta, and elevatedautomotive.com.
You've probably heard Tom Shane on the radio for years, but have you actually experienced a visit to Shane Company? If you're planning to pop the question on Valentine's Day, we're the destination for you. You just gotta go to the store, or you can go online to create an engagement ring that fits your budget and reflects her personal style. We're talking a massive selection of always natural, always ethically sourced diamonds, rubies, and sapphires, plus a huge assortment of ring settings in every price range. Our team of jewelry consultants will help you find exactly what you're looking for. And you can expect zero pressure because they're all non-commissioned. When you're done collaborating, her engagement ring will look spectacular, like nobody else's ring. She'll get all the compliments, you'll get all the credit. And get this, with their warranty, if anything happens to the ring, they've got you covered for life, for free. Do yourself a favor and get your engagement ring your way, only at Shane Company.
Now you have a friend in the jewelry business. Shane Company and shaneco.com.
Now is the time to establish and or maintain a barrier around your house. Don't let it break down. At Augustine Exterminators, they have you covered. Augustine Exterminators is a family-owned, local business since 1966. Call Augustine Exterminators today at 913-359-8627 or go online at AugustineExterminators.com. And Augustine is looking for qualified technicians. So call today at 913-359-8627.
Times are certainly uncertain. In fact, the return of food shortages is likely. Don't take chances. Make the decision to acquire a dependable supply of long-lasting emergency food. Food that lasts for up to 25 years in storage, ready the moment you need it. There's an old saying, failing to plan means planning to fail. Don't wait for the next crisis. Have a 3-month, 6-month, or even 1-year supply of food on hand. It's easy and affordable. We're My Patriot Supply, America's leader in emergency preparedness. We've served millions of folks like you for over a decade, and our mission is your survival. Our meals are delicious and provide you with 2,000 calories a day. And our kits arrive quickly and discreetly at your doorstep. Visit MyPatriotSupply.com and feast your eyes on the food that could save your life someday. That's MyPatriotSupply.com. Take the pressure off yourself. Go to MyPatriotSupply.com and face the future without regrets.
This is Almost Entirely Sports with Joshua Brisco.
We get so horny for Traymon Smith. I do not regret that choice of words. I chose it purposefully.
We do?
As a fan base. Yes! Armani Watts really gets our heart pumping. Who else is it? Khalil McKenzie really gets our juices flowing here in Kansas City.
On Sports Radio 810 WHB.
This is a weird place to end up on the Friday before the Super Bowl, but with that liner also in mind, it's why like every single team should try to trade for Deshaun Watson, except for the Chiefs. And I guess if the Chiefs got a good deal, I mean, you're gonna probably see backup quarterback in there a couple of times.
I mean, if
keep
they
him away from everybody else.
If they want to trade for him to be the backup quarterback, I'm cool with that.
Yeah.
And then let's go get maybe I don't know, Josh Allen to be the third string. Lamar to be practice squad guy.
The sneak specialist.
Oh, I would kill for that. I would give up 5 first-round draft picks to bring in Josh Allen just to be our quarterback sneak guy.
The Chiefs should sign Cam Newton this offseason.
Yes, they should.
We're gonna have to have that as a very serious conversation, I think, at some point. All the speed options stuff, they just need to get a wildcat quarterback. What about Lynn Bowden? Can you just bring your Kentucky man home? Let him come in and run the Kentucky Wildcat. You can call it that and everything.
I'd be so thrilled.
Boom. And that way Mahomes never has to run those sprint options anymore. and you can quarterback sneak it again.
I'm still disappointed at the year where there was like 20 Kentucky players and they all played positions of need for the Chiefs, and the Chiefs didn't end up with any of them.
No, not allowed.
Now the good news is about not getting Lonnie Johnson. It did help, Travis Kelce go just destroy his career in a playoff game. But
I preferred that outcome personally.
That was still wild to watch.
Here's something else. There's like this is a little tiny salary cap sort of based conversation, but it's something that I heard. Mina Kimes mentioned this, and I think she's excellent. I'm going to kind of zag a little bit here. But I've heard it come up a couple times. The Chiefs are kind of top-heavy as a team, and that was basically the end of Mina's take, and that's largely true. But one of the things that I think is interesting is the extended take from Mina was like, well, they're kind of top-heavy. I think this is on ESPN Daily. They're top-heavy, and whenever that works, your teams are going to be good. Whenever it doesn't work, you're in big trouble. Here's the thing. Here's the funny thing about the Chiefs, okay? I'm going to give you their players with an $8 million or higher cap hit, and you tell me how many of them. I already did this bit on Times R, so sorry to people who listen to both shows. But for you guys, Rudy's heard this already. That's fine. Beers doesn't even listen to this show when he's on it. Frank Clark, $19 million cap hit. Maybe he'll show up continually in the playoffs, but he's not worth a $19 million cap hit. Mm-hmm. Tyreek Hill, 17.5 or so, worth it. Tyrann Mathieu, 16, worth it. Sammy Watkins, 16, just did not this year. Eric Fisher, 15, absolutely worth it, but also is not playing in the Super Bowl, just just to add to the list or whatever. Chris Jones, worth it. Anthony Hitchens, worth it, and we all need to appreciate this man more. Travis Kelce, worth it. And then we drop down to two more. At $8 million, Eric Berry.
Worth it.
And at almost $11 million, Mitchell Schwartz, who just has been hurt. Again, Eric Berry is dead money on the cap.
Locker room presence.
But I mean, you've got $19 million between Eric Berry and Mitchell Schwartz. And Sammy Watkins, you got another 16 basically. Those two just basically with Berry literally did not play this year.
With the leadership.
And obviously, dealing with an injury does not mean you should not have been paid for it. But the point there is that the Chiefs did not get lucky with their top cap hit guys playing really well. Just this year, they also had Patrick Mahomes on a $5 million deal. So they won't have all of that flexibility in the years to come because those dollars will be going straight to Patrick Mahomes. But they weren't terribly lucky either through the draft or against the cap this season.
You are listening to Almost Entirely Sports with Joshua Brisco on Sports Radio 810 WHB.
Hey everyone, Les Norman here, host of the Breaking the Norm show. Since '95, I've made KC my home, and since then, I've seen a World Series champion in 15, a Super Bowl champion in 20, and the greatest fans supporting both. It's the people that make me proud to call KC home. You're passionate about your teams and each other. During this crazy time, keep caring for and loving each other. And thank you for making KC not only the greatest sports city, but also the most caring and helpful place to watch sports. Stay healthy, be safe, don't panic, and keep loving each other well.
There's only one station in Kansas City big enough to bring you all the Chiefs coverage you need. Sports Radio 810 WHB.
The Chiefs are going back to the Super Bowl.
Keep it on Sports Radio 810 for all the latest.
We've got a whole week of Super Bowl coverage coming your way, live from Tampa.
As the Chiefs get set to run it back. Follow all the action right here on your home for the NFL playoffs and the Super Bowl. Sports Radio 810 WHB.
Are you tired of living with chronic pain? Well, listen carefully, because there are new breakthrough treatments now available here. Not talking surgery or steroids. These are regenerative cell therapies from the medical professionals at QC Kinetics off 435 and State Line. This is Stephen St. John, and these revolutionary treatments not only alleviate your pain, they speed up the healing process. We're talking regenerative cell and platelet-rich plasma therapies, all new solutions that really work. If you've got pain in your knees or your shoulders, hips, or lower back, you may be able to avoid invasive surgery with these proven non-surgical options. Call now and schedule your free consultation at QC Kinetics, 816-412-6299. If you've got chronic pain and you want to avoid surgery and steroids, call QC Kinetics off 435 and State Line. Call now, 816-412-6299. That's 816-412-6299.
Whether you're looking for energy savings for the winter or updating your home office or man cave, One Stop Decorating is the place for beautiful energy-efficient window coverings. One Stop Decorating offers free in-home or virtual consultations, or you can come into one of their 3 beautiful showrooms to see all the window coverings in their Hunter Douglas galleries. Ask about smart shades that can be controlled by Google, Alexa, and HomeKit. 913-270-0408, 913-270-0408, or onestopdecorating.com. Your home, your windows, your style.
Have you ever turned down a project because you didn't have the right trucks at the right time? With City Rent & Truck as your fleet solution, that will never happen again. They give you the freedom to grow your business without fleet limitations, leaving no project behind. Don't pay 100% of the cost of ownership for a vehicle you use 50% of the time. The flexible rental and lease options allow you to only pay for what you need. Visit cityrentandtruck.com to see the large selection of work trucks and vans and request an online quote today.
Kansas City's favorite sports station, 20 years and counting. Sports Radio 810 WHB, Kansas City.
This is Sports Center.
I'm Jim Basquil. It's the first of an NBA doubleheader on ESPN, and it's Giannis and the Bucks getting it handed to him by Zion and the Pelicans. New Orleans leads Milwaukee 74-47 in the third. Meantime, Kawhi Leonard, Paul George back in the Clippers lineup. They lead at Orlando 54-48. That duo is combined for 27 points. Kevin Durant getting a night of rest for the Brooklyn Nets, but that hasn't stopped them from pouring in 73 points in the opening half as they're up 18 at Oklahoma City. Joel Embiid averaging 33 the last 4 games. He has 11 on this night, but the Wolves lead the Sixers 39-34. Hall of Famer John Chaney, one of the most respected coaches in college sports, has passed away. Chaney led Temple's men's basketball program for 24 years. He was twice named the National Division I Coach of the Year. He was 89. Kentucky's men's basketball program pausing team activities for COVID-19 protocols. The Wildcats game against number 5 Texas on Saturday has been canceled. New Texans coach David Culley says he took the job knowing Deshaun Watson was the team's quarterback, but if a deal materializes, Dan Orlovsky suggests the New York Giants.
If I was Dave Gettleman of the New York Giants, I would take Daniel Jones, I would take Saquon Barkley, and I would take 3 first-round picks and call Houston and not allow them to get off the phone with me. As a general manager in this moment, if you ever were going to take a swing, this is the swing to take.
That is quite a swing. Lions quarterback Matthew Stafford considers the Rams a viable contender in his trade markets.
We're back on Monday, and it's Super Week. We'll get you ready for the big game, and I am going to tell you why this Super Bowl might be the most important one Patrick Mahomes ever plays in. Keyshawn, J. Will, and Zubin, 6 Eastern on ESPN Radio.
You're listening to Almost Entirely Sports with Joshua Brisco.
You get out of an ice hockey game on a Friday night at 12:30 in the morning. Yep. There's only so many choices, and Taco Bell was always there for me in a time of need.
On Sports Radio 810 WHB.
We've had a lot of taco-based conversations today. I certainly have no issue with that. Neither will the man who you just heard the voice of in that liner, Matt Verderame of Fansided, who joins us now. You can follow him on Twitter at Matt Verderame. Check out the Stacking the Box and Arrowhead Addict podcasts. Read all of his work up on fansided.com. Matt, did you have any good tacos recently?
No, I haven't. But at some point, I'll have to rectify. I did have a mean pulled pork, though, the other night, which I felt good about.
There we go. Where was the pulled pork from?
Oh, from the store. But my amazing wife slow-cooked it for like 12 hours.
There you go.
Some rub on it, and it was very good. It led to a food coma and me passing out on the couch till about 3 a.m., so it was good.
That's excellent. What's your like peak? The food? This is a conversation we've had here, but what's the food that you know you cannot eat if you intend on doing anything the rest of the day?
That's tough.
I'll filibuster for a second while you think, because Rudy and I think at this point have the same answer. There's a Five Guys right by the station, and it's just there to tempt us, because if we go to Five Guys and get just a big burger mess and a giant bag of fries, the radio show is going to have lower energy that night.
Yep. Yeah, I think, look, being a proud Italian, I feel like it's got to be a good calzone, or maybe like if I really go heavy on the pizza, top it off with a cannoli.
Oh, a cannoli.
I'm probably not going anywhere for a while. And because I try to fit into my clothes, I don't eat too much of that.
Right.
But when I do, it's aggressive. And it usually ends with me not doing a whole hell of a lot afterwards.
I think cannoli might be, if you have a better argument for something else, I'll hear it, but cannoli might be the most Italian sounding food. It just, every bit of it just screams, this is here to top off your very, very Italian evening.
I think, the word, yeah, probably. I mean, look, like my grandparents, they always called sauce gravy and became enraged if anybody called it sauce.
Yeah.
So, and obviously, gravy doesn't sound like ultra Italian, but it was a very Italian. If you went to my grandparents' house back in the day, I mean, it was Parmesan this, Parmesan that, spaghetti and meatballs, everything made from scratch. I mean, that's kind of, you weren't going to my grandparents' house and be like, hey, what's for dinner? But turkey. That wasn't good. That was not one of the menu options. So, mozzarella, whatever you want to throw in there. If you're a big fan of Sopranos, pretty much everything they ate in that show, just 365 days a year.
I could crush some Italian food right now. I had tacos not very long ago, and I could absolutely obliterate some Italian food. I can't right now because we have the show to do, so I probably will ask you.
Sounds like a tapeworm.
It's just sort of who I am to my core, honestly.
He's a tapeworm.
It's more that I am, in fact, a tapeworm.
Not good. Not good.
No, it's not. It's really not. There's a bunch of stuff that's been going on over the course of this week. Some kind of big picture things, some stuff that's more specific, and hopefully we'll be able to talk to you again next week as well whenever we get closer to the game itself. But one sort of like big picture thing I've been really intrigued by this week has been looking at what this Super Bowl is going to do for the long-term conversation about legacy and Brady versus Mahomes, where if Brady wins this game, he's going to end up with 6 rings and go with the Patriots and then add one more to go to 7. He'll have this one directly head-to-head over Mahomes, and now it's 7-1, and they probably won't play each other in the Super Bowl again. Conversely, Patrick Mahomes can get 33% of the way to Tom Brady's Super Bowl ring total with the win next Sunday, and he's got the head-to-head and maybe Brady's last Super Bowl appearance. I imagine, and correct me if I'm wrong or tell me what you think about this theory, but I imagine that this Super Bowl is going to have a tremendously large impact on how the legacy conversations are going to go around Brady and Mahomes for the next 15 and 20 years.
No question. And I wrote my Stack the Box column in Fanside on Monday about this. I think,
Can you go read that right now?
Read it. 4 days ago. Anyway.
I'm not going to read it right now. I guess I'll open it now and I'll read it later. I missed it, though.
Yeah, there you go. No, listen, I think if Brady wins this game, I don't think Mahomes can ever catch him. I know technically, look, you can sit here and say, hey, maybe 15 years left. The way quarterbacks play to 40 now, and he could win 7. I get that. But the reality is that would be almost impossible.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, this isn't basketball where if you're the best player, you win every year.
Mm-hmm.
And you're always going to have people who would say no matter what, oh, come on. I mean, Brady was 43 years old and beat a 25-year-old Mahomes, and Mahomes was the favorite in the game. I think it would be very, very hard for Mahomes to ever overtake him. Now, if Mahomes goes out and wins this game, yes, he's still 4 rings behind him. Now, let's be real. That is a lot of rings.
Mm-hmm.
There's only one quarterback right now who's got more than 4 rings in the NFL's history. Like, that is a lot of rings, at least in the Super Bowl era anyway.
Mm-hmm.
But you look at it and go, hey, he's 25, won 2 Super Bowls, MVP, Super Bowl MVP, maybe even another Super Bowl MVP, we'll see. They did the whole back-to-back thing, which Brady did once in his career.
Mm-hmm.
That would be, and it would set up next year, not to get way ahead of ourselves here, but the whole offseason would be about, could they do it? Could they three-peat and do it nobody's ever done before?
Yeah.
No, this is an enormous game. And let's face it, I think there's more pressure on Mahomes in this game because he's the favorite, and he's 25 years old.
Yeah.
And they are the better team. They should win the game. So I know it's in Brady's building and all that, but who cares? There's going to be 20,000 people there. I think this one's more for Mahomes. It's house money, I think, for Brady.
Because, yeah, I mean, we've made this comp already, but if you look at, like, you do Jordan with the Wizards, you just categorize it differently, and I think Brady's obviously been good enough this year that it's going to be a continuation of the Tom Brady story, but it definitely does feel like whatever he was going to do away from New England would be a huge bonus, and that he's already got one. I mean, the Patriots missed the playoffs this year without him. Again, that might not be a fair comp for a whole bunch of reasons, but it's probably how we're going to do the Brady versus Belichick thing.
I don't know, in 10 or 20 years, if this conversation is going to be the same as what it is right now. I don't know that anyone's going to care that 68-year-old Bill Belichick didn't make the playoffs without Brady. People will care, though, about the results of this game next Sunday.
Yeah.
That they will care about. Because, look, I totally agree with everything you said. The reality is, Belichick, he didn't make the playoffs because they suck.
Right.
They're just not a good team. I love these people who are like, that settles it. It's like, it doesn't, Brady left them because they were terrible.
Yeah.
They didn't win a playoff game with Brady last year.
Yeah.
They weren't any good. Brady left because he knows they're no good.
Yeah.
So, to me, I don't get into this whole, that shows Belichick's not any good. No. Look, who's more at credit? They both are.
Mm-hmm.
I got news. If Norv Turner coached Brady for 20 years, they're not winning 6 Super Bowls.
Right.
I can tell you that much right now. And if Brady wasn't there, and they had Andy Dalton for 20 years, Belichick's not winning all those Super Bowls. So it's part and parcel. Look at Kansas City right now. Andy Reid is a great Hall of Fame head coach. How many Super Bowls did he win before Patrick Mahomes showed up?
I think it was 0,
None.
I believe. Yeah, I believe it was around 0.
And let's be real. If Patrick Mahomes was coached by, Todd Haley or Herm Edwards, okay?
Yeah.
I got news. As great as he is, they're not winning a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
So I think, sometimes you do have to look at it, but you're right. Look, in the moment, it's very right now, and so you're going to look at it and go, the Pats are bums, and Brady's in the Super Bowl. But I think history, everything else will fade away. The Super Bowls are forever. They will always matter.
I hope that's true. I feel like as of right now, I don't have as much faith in the less important parts, like what this season is going to look like, fading away. I'm afraid that if Brady wins, especially, it's always going to be Brady do it without Belichick, and then and will Belichick ever do it without Brady? And if he does, then what happens this year certainly won't matter. I don't know. I do think that's a stupid, largely reduction to get down to, because the point that you just made is exactly right. That listen, I think Deshaun Watson's an excellent football player that would probably have won a Super Bowl, or would win a Super Bowl in his first few years with Andy Reid, and I think eventually Patrick Mahomes would have won one in Houston, but it wouldn't have been this year, and it wouldn't have been next year, because that organization's a tire fire. But I don't know. We like assigning all the credit and all the blame to one person all the time, and it's an unfortunate part of sports conversations, I think.
We just have this weird fascination with everything's got to be binary.
Yeah.
And sports aren't binary.
Yeah.
Look, I won't go off on a whole thing about this, but with Mahomes, there was a question the other day for the Arrowhead Addict podcast. It was last in a review. I thought it was an interesting question, but it was a question that basically said, would Mahomes be as good if they didn't have Kelsey and Hill? And I was like, no, he wouldn't be.
Right.
You know why? Because Kelsey might go down as the greatest tight end ever, and Tyreek Hill is the most dynamic player I've ever seen on a football field. Now, that doesn't mean that Patrick Mahomes wouldn't still be a great player.
Right.
But when you put unbelievable players around him, yeah, he gets even better. That. Look, the Chiefs are not 25-1 in Mahomes' last 26 starts because of one guy.
Right.
Or two guys. They're 25-1 in that stretch, because as a collective, they're dominant. That's what, to me, I look at that divisional game. If they win next Sunday, I think Kansas City and a lot of people who have followed the team and rooted for them will forever remember the Chad Henne game. Because to me, we could sit here and talk all day long about Mahomes and Kelsey and Hilton. You know, if they win the Super Bowl, those guys are obviously a massive part of the reason why. But they won. They got to the AFC title game because the guy on the team who probably, if you had to rip off, okay, name the guys who are most important to this roster, 1 through 53 on opening day. Chad Henne's coming in somewhere around 50th.
Right.
And you know what? Chad Henne won them that game.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's what Super Bowl teams are about. Yeah. That's what great teams are about. You go look at New England. Who the hell was Malcolm Butler when he picked off Russell Wilson?
Yeah.
But he did it.
Yeah.
Right? Like, Brady gets, hey, Brady won a ring. Yeah, great. Malcolm Butler is the reason they won that game.
Mm.
Period.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, unbelievable play. Why does Eli Manning get credit for knocking off the Pats when they were undefeated? Because David Tyree made one of the greatest catches you've ever seen in your life.
Yep.
Like, championship teams find those guys. Dan Sorensen's another one for the Chiefs.
Yes.
Always is in the middle of it. And so, look, this game on next Sunday, I guarantee you, look, we'll talk about the quarterbacks and we'll talk about all the stars on both sides. That game's largely going to come down to a handful of guys on both sides of the ball who are not household names, who make exceptional plays.
Yeah. I think that's a great perspective, and I think that you're right. We want it to be binary. We want it to be we like that the games are complex. We want the talking points to be simpler than they ever are. I mean, that's why we do spend so much time on the quarterbacks, and also previewing games are impossible because we can guess that Dan Sorensen will be near a play, but. What are the chances that Damian Wilson might have a forced fumble at the goal line? It's totally possible,
right.
But predicting that would be totally foolish. So we'll talk about it after the fact, and hopefully we'll do better at that, I guess.
Well, and I think, look, on your medium, on radio, like, we can sit here and talk for 20, 30 minutes, whereas, on television, where narratives are mostly shaped, you're talking in segments that are 2 minutes long.
Yeah.
And you don't have time to get into those guys. And frankly, if somebody turned on the television and ESPN was talking about Dan Sorensen, most of it just turn television on.
Yeah, you're right.
They'd be like, well, I don't know who that is. I don't care. What about Mahomes?
Yeah.
Right? Like, that, people don't care, which is a shame. But if you really watch the sport and understand it and you're realist about it, yes, there is absolutely a chance next Sunday Mahomes just has a full-on tour de force and they win the game because he just goes out of his mind.
Mm-hmm.
That's completely possible. But I think, in games like that, typically, it's guys who make little plays along the way that end up winning you the game. I mean, last year, not that he's so much of a little player, but maybe an under-realized player, under-talked about player. Damian Williams could have easily been the MVP of the Super Bowl last year.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like, hey, look, he wasn't. He could have been. I think this is going to be a fascinating game because if you really sat down and think, I mean, how many Hall of Famers are going to play in this game next Sunday? I mean, if you're really looking at it, you could get in the double digits.
Yeah. Yeah, I think you probably could. That's crazy. I mean, if we want to count through them, quarterbacks, Hill and Kelsey, Antonio Brown probably should. Mike Evans, an outside maybe, perhaps.
Tyrann Mathieu, Chris Jones.
Chris Jones and Tyrann Mathieu would have chances. I haven't even really gotten to the Bucs defense.
Ndamukong Suh.
And Ndamukong Suh, probably.
Gronkowski.
Gronk, absolutely. Yep.
I mean, these guys, like, no brainers. Maybe Levante David, depending on how the rest of his career goes. I mean, you could definitely, if you include Andy
L'Jarius Sneed, pretty much already a lock. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, you're talking about legitimately 9 to 10 guys who it's like, they're going to be in Canton.
Yeah.
Like, and a couple of them are a little older, specifically on the Bucs. But they're Hall of Fame players. I mean, this game will ultimately be defined, when we think about it 5, 10, 15 years down, it'll be defined by those great players. But it'll probably be decided by men who we forget about a year after they retire.
Yeah, I think you're right. Whenever you look, again, we'll still have a week to fully ramp up and whatnot, but whenever you look at the Buccaneers, what's the thing that intrigues you the most specific to the Chiefs matchup that's not just, Brady and all of his weapons? What from their defense, what from outside of Brady do you go, oh, man, this is going to be a thing that maybe the Chiefs handle it, maybe they don't, but, boy, this is going to be something that they're going to put a lot of stock into?
So I went back. Last night I sat down and I watched every Buccaneers sack. and I charted, was it a 4-man pressure or 5-man pressure? They had 48 sacks on a year. 20 of the 48 sacks came with a 4-man rush.
Wow.
And only a handful of them were covered sacks. The Chiefs, with Mahomes in the regular season, gave up 22 sacks. Oh, I believe, off the top of my head, I think it's only 3 times with those blitzes. So, if you're the Buccaneers, you better not blitz in this game.
Yeah.
You're not going to sack him anyway. And if you blitz, you're probably playing man behind it, and that is a death sentence. So, I think in this game, look, the Bucs, I'm sure, also know this. I doubt that I out-scouted the Buccaneers for this game. So, look, I would suggest look for the Bucs to drop 7. This game, to me, is very simple. If Kansas City can get the ball out quick and or protect Mahomes, they will win this game. They will win this game. If the Buccaneers cannot consistently get to Mahomes before this game is over, if they cannot cover him, the Chiefs will absolutely destroy their secondary. I don't care what they play. Zone, man, a combination, they cannot cover them. The Chiefs will throw the ball day and night in this game if the Buccaneers don't get home. However, the best way to stop a great offense is 4-man pressure.
Yep.
That is, in my opinion, the only way to truly stop a great offense. Now, the Chiefs are very difficult. I would say that of any team that played them this year, the Saints got the most pressure on them consistently, and they did it mostly with 4 guys, and that was the game. Fisher played, but he was clearly injured with the back, and Wiley played at right tackle. And I went back and watched the game. Andrew Wiley actually played very, very well against Dan Jordan. It was actually more Fisher who struggled. And I mean, the guy was cutting it out with the back. But that, to me, is a game where if you're the Bucs, you try to replicate that. The problem with that game is the Saints gave up 32 points. Like that, and that's the thing. Like you watch the game, you're like, man, they affected Mahomes. They hit him constantly. I mean, for people who remember that game, that was the hardest he got hit all year. Was that one hit where he got sandwiched between 2 guys? I mean, he got worked in that game.
Yeah.
And you look up, they scored 32 points.
Yeah.
Like it was ridiculous. So that's the problem the Bucs are going to have is I think they have to get pressure with 4, but it's not enough. They're going to have to score in the 30s to win this game. They're going to have to score 30 plus points, and they're going to have to constantly get to him. And that is just, it's a lot. There's a reason the Chiefs have lost once all year long. Well, the starters.
I think that's exactly right. They're going to have to score in the 30s and get pressure with 4. But I would circle back in on, I mean, you obviously bring up the Saints game, and obviously, in case anyone forgot, in that game, it was Wiley at right tackle, Fisher at left tackle, with Fisher gutting it through a back injury because Mike Rimmers was out with the back. So all of that obviously played into it. Now we're getting a slightly sort of bizarro version of that where it looks like Rimmers will play left tackle, Wiley should go back to right tackle, Wisniewski plays right guard, et cetera, et cetera. How much does the Eric Fisher injury sort of change the game for you, so to speak? And then how much are you willing to say, you know what, I think they'll be okay because they've been dealing with an absolutely battered offensive line all year long. Like, they're going to have 4 out of their 5 offensive starters either missing or out of position from week 1, and they've been dealing with that all year long. Now just Fisher's the new one.
I'm going to have a really hot take with this.
Yes.
I think they're going to be fine.
Love it.
I think they're going to be, and I don't say that from a homeristic standpoint or anything. I mean, look, anyone who knows me knows I grew up rooting for this team, but I also, I cover the league. I get paid to be objective, and I feel like, there have been times where I've annoyed Chief fans, and I've been like, look, I don't think there's a good matchup for them. I actually think in this game, it's so as awful as I feel for Eric Fisher. And of course, it's terrible he got hurt and everything. But what I'm driving at is, I do think in this game, it helps the Chiefs that it happened in the AFC title game and not 2 plays into the Super Bowl.
Yes, for sure.
They have 2 weeks knowing, okay, this is how we're going to play. This is what's going to. Whereas if you went into this game, people are like, once you go into a game with a game plan, you're married to it.
Yeah.
It is what it is. And you can maybe adjust a little bit, but you kind of are what you are. I don't think it's going to majorly change them in this game, and here's why. I think the Chiefs going in always knew we're going to have to beat their pressure. We are going to have to get the ball out. I don't think, even with Fisher in this game, I don't think there was ever a point where Andy was going to go into this game where, what we're going to do? A lot of 7-step drops in this game. I think they're looking at it like, if they don't beat us with their pressure, we're winning the Super Bowl. We've got to get the ball out quick, get the ball to Kelsey, get it to Hardman, get it to Hill, get it to Robinson. Let these guys make plays in space. I think you're going to see the Chiefs use a ton of motion in this game, which they always do anyway. They're going to try to slow down that pass rush, confuse guys. You're going to see a lot of that, especially early in the game, where they try to give Tampa a million different looks and basically say to them, you are going to have to be ready for this all night. Now, conversely, the Bucs use almost no motion. They come to the line of scrimmage, and they just line up, and that's what it is. It's static. I think that, the one thing, and we haven't even talked about it, that I think is going to go so under-talked about all week, and it's going to be the most talked about thing after the game, I think Kansas City's defense is a major problem for Tampa's offense. Because the Chiefs love to design all kinds of different looks where they move around post-snap. And as brilliant as Brady is, and they're not going to fool him the way they fooled Josh Allen. I do think in this game, the Chiefs, as they did against the Bills, if you noticed, you saw one linebacker against the Bills almost the entire game.
Yep.
The Chiefs were in dime, 3 safeties, 3 corners, and they basically said to the Bills, you want to run? We will skip down the field with you.
Yep.
We don't care. You are not throwing the ball. You are not going to beat us in the air. I guarantee you that's how they play Tampa Bay. And I think the Chiefs are very confident in the fact their corners can line up man on man, and they can win in those situations. I think the Chiefs are going to blitz the daylights out of Brady in this game. I don't think they're going to show him any respect. I don't think they're going to have any fear of it. I think Kansas City is going to basically say, here it comes. And you've got to beat us in 1.5 seconds. And if you can't do it, you're punting. And look, could Tampa win the game? Sure. It's one game. But I think this matchup, in a lot of ways, really does favor Kansas City.
The one linebacker, infinite defensive backs thing, we talked about that a little bit earlier, and I want to hone in on that some because you're right. That what they showed to the Josh Allen, I've got nothing to add to what you just said. Knocked out 10 out of 10 there. Got it in one. The way they showed so many different things, they had one linebacker on the field pretty much all the time. They were trying to get to him and confuse him and whatnot, and they're not going to be able to do that to Brady. Again, you said this already, but they're not going to be able to do that to Brady like they were with Josh Allen. What do you think is going to work well enough against Brady that makes up for the fact that he does have all of that, extra processing power, that he's seen so many more things? Is it simply because you phrase it to say the Chiefs defense is going to cause problems for the Bucs offense, which I feel like we never talk about the Chiefs defense that way, even when it's deserved. Is it just a matter of how quickly they're going to get there?
I think the Chiefs game plan is going to be to overwhelm them with numbers. I really, and maybe I'm wrong. Maybe Spagnuolo totally surprised me. I just feel like in this game, Bucs have a good offensive line. It's not great, but it's good. They have a very good left guard, very good center, very good rookie right tackle. I think Kansas City, though, in this game, is basically going to say, we are going to bring more numbers than you can deal with. We are willing to put Breeland on Evans one-on-one. But Jerry Sneed, who, spoiler alert, I'm writing a big feature on, it's going to go up early Monday on Fansided. Check that out. There's going to be some interesting content in there. And it won't just be about him. It'll be about the secondary, but it's going to mostly be about Sneed and his development. But, look, they're going to put Sneed in the slot, and they're going to leave him one-on-one with Antonio Brown and Chris Godwin. They're going to do it. They did it with Stephon Diggs. They're going to do it in this game. And they did it a lot with Charvarius Ward on the boundary against Diggs. I went back and watched that film. I sat there for 2.5 hours. There were a lot of plays in that game where they left Stephon Diggs one-on-one with one of their corners with no help and just said, go ahead, Josh Allen, throw it.
Yeah.
We don't care. And I got to tell you, I think if you're the Chiefs, your credo in this game has to be sticky coverage and hit him. Hit him, hit him, hit him, and by him I mean Brady. Look, Mahomes is number 1 in the league against pressure this year. Number 1. Brady is 30th. When you get pressure, not even sacks, when you pressure Brady, he turns into a pumpkin at this point in his career. If you're the Chiefs, you absolutely cannot let him be comfortable. By any means necessary. And I think that's what you're going to see. Spagnuolo is an aggressive coordinator by nature, and I think you're going to see a lot of blitzes, and a lot of man coverage. And look, the Chiefs will mix it up, and I think that's what, if you're Spagnuolo, you're saying to yourself, we want him to make one big mistake in this game. If he makes one big mistake, it's probably it, considering how potent we are offensively.
I love it, Matt. I look forward to hopefully talking to you again next week, but enjoy the week leading up regardless, and it's always excellent to talk to you. I'm very excited. I do wish this game was just happening at this moment, but since it's not, I'll suffer through another week. Thank you, Matt. Appreciate it.
Take care.
As good as it gets, Matt Verderame of Fansided. I think it's exactly right. The Chiefs have trusted their corners to stick to these opposing wide receivers, to get pressure. Brady, as Verderame says, is turning into a pumpkin when pressured at this point in his career. And if that whole sort of tableau does not get you excited for this upcoming football game, there is no blood in your body. It is not pumping. You feel nothing, and you're on the wrong radio station.
Did you know you can listen to Almost Entirely Sports anywhere, anytime? Well, you can. Just search for Almost Entirely Sports wherever you get your podcasts.
Hey, Kansas City fans, get your Chiefs limited edition Rawlings football now by calling 1-800-345-2868 or by visiting nicosports.com. Each fully engraved football is priced at only $99 and comes with an individually numbered certificate of authenticity. The football features their AFC Championship, Chiefs team history, logos, full season schedule with opponents, and a summary of Mahomes' accomplishments. It will be automatically upgraded to Super Bowl champs if they win. Fans can order now by calling 1-800-345-2868 or by visiting nicosports.com. That's 1-800-345-2868 or by visiting nicosports.com. A portion of the proceeds will be donated to Cornerstones of Care. So Kansas City fans, get your limited edition Chiefs Rawlings football now. Call 1-800-345-2868, 1-800-345-2868, or online at nicosports.com, nikcosports.com.
Hey KC, Jeff Badine from Mercedes-Benz of Kansas City. Thanks to you, our loyal customers, 2020 was the best year in our history. We're celebrating with our certified pre-owned event month. Get 1.99% financing and we'll even make your first 2 payments. Rosa & Rosa, premium vehicles to choose from. You can afford your dream car at Mercedes-Benz of Kansas City. Visit us online today at mbfkc.com. Mercedes-Benz of Kansas City, 1/2 mile east of State Line Road on Highway 150. Minutes from everywhere.
Financing with approved credit, 36 months, MBFS, ends 1/31/20. 2 payments up to $1,500, select CPO months.
At Mercedes-Benz of Kansas City, the executive loaner fleet is a cut above the norm, featuring an assortment of 2020 Mercedes-Benz models. Now, combine that with 1.99% financing on most of the executive loaner cars, and you have a golden opportunity to make your next vehicle a Mercedes-Benz. Need more incentives? They need your trade-in. So go see your next car at Mercedes-Benz of Kansas City, 1/2 mile east of State Line on Highway 150, or online at mbofkc.com. With approved credit, see dealer for details.
Do you have a frog? You know, a freezing room over the garage? Now that everyone is home, are you looking to convert your frog into an office, a schoolroom, or a comfortable room to escape your family? With no ductwork required, Mitsubishi Electric offers room-by-room air filtration and precise temperature control. Let's help you turn those cold, uncomfortable spaces in your house into a space you and your family will really enjoy. To learn more about Mitsubishi Electric's solutions, visit keepkccool.com today. Now, they can help you whether you need to heat it up or cool it down. Mitsubishi's got you covered. Our biggest problem here in the Sports Radio 810 control room and studio was the heat. We've got a lot of windows and a lot of radio equipment, and our Mitsubishi unit has kept us cool for years. It works like a charm, and it works quickly, and it's whisper quiet. It's been a real game changer for us at Sports Radio 810. Check them out at keepkccool.com. That's keepkccool.com today.
Evansfield Distillery, Independence, Missouri, where every glass is older than the last. Whiskey ages in a barrel for years. Not at Evansfield Distillery. Introducing the Evansfield Endless Aging Process. A wooden medallion placed in each whiskey bottle dramatically increases the speed of aging. Evansfield whiskey ages 1 year in 7 days. Senior distiller Dennis Evans developed the process over many years so that you can enjoy aged whiskey in a very short period. Evansfield Distillery, Independence, Missouri, where every glass is older than the last.
Every business should advertise their product or service, but with the expense and advertising choices out there to choose from, many businesses just rely on word-of-mouth referrals. Now there's an answer. For less than $5 per day, KC Referral Network will promote and market your business on 4 of the most effective advertising platforms: radio, direct mail, digital marketing, and referral directory marketing. KC Referral Network. Go to saleskc.com. That's saleskc.com and increase your sales in 30 days. saleskc.com.
This is Almost Entirely Sports with Joshua Brisco on Sports Radio 810 WHB.
Some COVID-19 vaccine news. Did you guys see which high-profile person got their first shot today?
You.
Not me.
Oh,
Older
right.
than me.
You're not high profile.
It's also true.
Did not.
Beards,
Was
you wanna?
Was Popovich yesterday? Or a
Not
couple
on-
days ago.
Not who got it and posted about it on Twitter 6 hours ago.
Nikola Jokic.
Hey, Twitter world, it's O.J. Simpson. O.J. Simpson posted, "Get your shot, I got mine," and there is a photo of him wearing a mask that says "the juice" on it. He is getting the vaccine. Someone quote tweeted it by asking, "Who had O.J. Simpson being stabbed by a white woman on their 2021 bingo card?"
That's good.
Nurse is a Caucasian female.
That was a good tweet.
Stabbing him with a needle.
Justice,
to,
finally.
to keep him from getting COVID. I hate to be a party pooper, but I don't think that's necessarily justice.
I don't know. Who decided like OJ should get this?
He's old enough, I
Couldn't
guess.
we have all just agreed though, like, you know what, OJ? You gotta wait.
I think he should have had to have been the last person to get
Yeah.
it. I think he should have been last in line. That just once everybody else has it and we have a few left over, someone call OJ. I don't feel like that should I don't feel like he should have been in January of 2021 kind of first man up.
I only know like 3 people who've gotten it.
Like personally that
yeah,
you know?
like me, that personally I know.
Yeah, for
OJ's
me, I think it might
already
just be OJ.
Yeah.
I think he might be my only close personal friend that I know who's gotten it.
You're on a first name basis with him?
Yeah. I call him Oj. I don't think I know anyone.
I don't think I do either.
Yeah,
that's gotten it.
Yeah, I know a
the
couple
vaccine,
people.
not COVID.
Well, actually, a couple people in my family have because like my mom's a nurse practitioner, my brother-in-law's a nurse, so like they have. Everybody who I know who has gotten it it works in healthcare.
Like a healthcare professional.
Yeah, I think they're all. I believe they're actually all nurses, but they're all which makes sense, right? They're all in healthcare.
None of my friends are like good enough people to work in healthcare, which also unsurprising.
I
right?
would say the people I know aren't necessarily my friends because I'm not good enough to be their friends. They're just people that like either I went to high school with, right? Like we're Facebook friends, right?
Yeah,
like, we've
yeah,
talked.
yeah.
Our paths have crossed. Saying we're friends is probably not. It's probably not fair for them.
They had been exposed to you.
Yeah.
But there's not a Rudy vaccine.
Not yet.
Yet. Come on, science.
2022.
I don't think I can wait that long.
New year.
I think
vaccine.
I think Verderame was right about pretty much every syllable that came out of his mouth. They're looking at some of the most interesting things with Chiefs Bucks, by the way. I really do, and I told Beards and Rudy this during the break, but it every so often, not that these guys are usually at odds, but every so often, Matt and Seth Kaiser end up saying very, very, very similar things. Again, not that that's unusual, but it's like
I got a liner that proves otherwise.
Those are the what is the liner?
Oh, there's a liner of Matt saying basically attacking Seth. Remember? I forget.
I don't, but maybe Beards can find it.
Yeah, you can play it next.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. I don't think I do, honestly. But whenever they both hone in on the same thing, that's whenever that's when it becomes especially noteworthy because there's the super light, super defensive back heavy, dare you to run, and then also the specifics of what Matt mentioned there really triggered something that I remembered from Seth had a new article go up on The Athletic yesterday. The Chiefs have really, really, really genuinely trusted their corners to just stick to whoever they're up against. And sometimes that's L'Jarius Sneed on Stephon Diggs. And sometimes it's going to be L'Jarius Sneed on Antonio Brown and Charvarius Ward on Chris Godwin and Bashad Breeland on Mike Evans. And it's going to have to be any of those guys sort of replaceably to whoever else they end up across from, because that's how the Chiefs are playing it. They don't really feel, as far as I can tell, like they have a major weakness at corner, even at going up against some really excellent wide receiving groups like they're going to see next Sunday. And the fact that they're at that point, it does allow them to be more aggressive in the blitz because they're not necessarily risking a huge blown coverage because they feel pretty good about all of their corners, all the way down to Rashad Fenton, who's been quietly still pretty good. It's a really unique place and something that to both Matt and Seth's credit, we just haven't talked about very much. Nor will we talk about it more now. All right, we can talk about WandaVision. It's okay, guys.
Sorry, no.
That's all right. Just tell me to go to hell.
For whatever reason, I'm not, like, my caster bot's not getting YouTube comments, and all of a sudden I just clicked on YouTube and there's a bunch of comments.
Oh.
And I was reading somebody who was
yeah, but I don't get it. I don't have any YouTube comments over
who
here
was giving you grammatical suggestions.
Okay, I'll take one of them.
Okay, I guess it really is just one.
If you really
want,
hold on. If everybody wants to correct how I talk, you can watch the show and leave your comment to facebook.com/sportsradio810, twitch.tv/sportsradio810, or youtube.com/810WHB.
Yeah, so KWG5 says, I have a very respectful grammatical suggestion for Joshua.
Sniff my farts.
I noticed you never say when, you only say whenever.
This might be the same guy. Someone has DM'd me about this a number of times, and I'll fix it whenever I can.
Yeah, we'll get there. We're always improving. He says when and whenever are usually not interchangeable. For example, it is incorrect to say whenever we come back from the break, we will talk to Matt Verderame. You should say when we come back from the break, we will talk to Matt Verderame. You'd only say the former if every time you came back from a break, you talked to Matt Verderame. Again, just a respectful suggestion.
Or we're not sure if we're going to come back from a break, then we say whenever.
And then KC15 said, does anybody else hate Skip Bayless?
No. Everyone loves him.
They're also worried about beards.
I love
liking tacos.
I love whenever Skip Bayless is on my television talking about sports things.
Did you say he called Mahomes more of a hype machine than anything else today?
No, I didn't. Oof. I sure did not.
Because he throws left-handed passes and no-look passes. And he was bad last Super Bowl.
I'll be so excited whenever he retires.
I'll be so sad.
I'm going to be pretty hyped whenever Rudy understands the bit that I'm doing.
I don't know if I get the bet.
There's no way that I can not sound defensive in response to that fairly reasonable, completely respectful correction. Mm-hmm. This has to be the same guy that DM'd me about it a while ago.
It's very specific.
This is not, I am not purposefully being a bleep hole. I just think that's one of those things that I personally am probably not going to fix about myself unless Beards or Rudy get really militant about enforcing it, but I don't know if either of you guys actually know the differentiation.
I'm not gonna do it. I mean, here's the thing.
Is whenever to like a vague time that is not yet determined?
As somebody who has frequently shown just perfect grammar on this show, who's never made a grammatical mistake, I think I will be very diligent here to make sure you keep up to the expectations that I have set. You know, I've set the floor high.
Yeah, absolutely.
I need you to reach that floor.
You should correct me whenever I get it wrong. Have you gotten the bit yet?
It's getting wrong.
Whenever I'm getting it wrong. Listen, if one of you guys can get a firm grasp on the grammatical rules or on the difference between when and whenever, I think when is about a specific time. So when we get back from break, we'll talk to Matt Verderame.
Is more broader.
Well, he's more broader. More broader. Hey, YouTube comment. Can you just jump on Rudy's bleep for a second? No.
That is perfect. That's perfect grammar. Because if I say it, it's perfect.
But I think whenever is what he's saying is if I say whenever we come back from break, it means we'll go to every time we come back from break, we're talking to Matt Verderame.
Whereas if it's only once.
It's just crazy to me that has gotten so stuck in that dude's head. It's like the fact that even he hears it whenever I get it wrong. Like every time.
He just said you got it.
So like, okay, so it's about a specific.
Yeah.
I'm really not trying to be defensive or rude to you, YouTube commenter. I'm sorry that I almost certainly sound defensive here.
He's just a mean boy.
I'm just a mean boy. I'm this mean to everyone, not just you.
Can confirm.
But shut up, Beards. Go quarantine again. Away from me. I've tested positive for too much Beards exposure. I'll probably be happy to see you whenever you get back, though.
Oh, good.
Have you gotten the bit yet, Rudy?
I don't think I have. I think I forgot the bit.
Wow, this is incredible. Well, whenever you listen to the podcast, you'll probably figure it out.
I might have it, but I don't know.
Beards, do you think he got it? Do you think he's gotten it yet?
I don't think I got it.
Maybe.
Say it over.
I have doubts, but maybe.
Let's play this back.
You can, whenever we go to break, you can go listen back in our recording.
0% chance that happens.
See if you can figure it out. I've said the word whenever like 25 times this segment.
Skip Bayless,
but
retire.
It's such an easy just sort of word for me to kind of skim along the surface with that I don't even.
Did you use the wrong whenever for Skip Bayless retiring? Was that the thing?
I mean, I literally 25 times this segment I've said whenever when I think I probably should have said when.
Got it.
I'm good at YouTube commenter. What's the series of letters and numbers?
Give me 1 second because I just stepped away from YouTube.
Just whenever you have a chance.
KWG5. I was looking at the text line. Somebody just texted in.
KWG5?
Yes.
KWG. Quig 5. I am going to try. And I'm going to fail many times. And I have no doubt.
But you know what? Every time he fails, you know what he's going to do? He's going to get back up smiling.
I'm going to bite your kneecap
and then he's
off.
going to fail again. And then he's just going to get mad and bite your kneecap.
I have no doubt.
That's how this goes.
I have no doubt, YouTube commenter / rogue DMer, that I will get it wrong many, many times and that you will be there to fix it whenever that happens again.
Take the show with you wherever you go. Listen live on the Sports Radio 810 mobile app and 810WHB.com.
CBD American Shaman is dedicated to bringing wellness to Kansas City. Not sure where to start with your CBD and wellness journey? Well, join us this Saturday for the grand opening of Shaman's Leewood Total Wellness at 11709 Rowan Leewood. Join Neil Smith, Frank Ball, and myself from noon to 4 to sample some of Shaman's best products, learn about IV therapy aesthetics, and our new medical concierge program. Enjoy refreshments, meet with our health professionals, and our special guest, David Smale, the author of the book, The Keys to the Kingdom, from 2 to 4. Remember, life is better with a feather.
Hi, Chris Shakes from Victory Chevrolet of Smithfield. It's hard to believe that in 6 short years, our Victory family of dealerships has become the fastest growing auto group in the Kansas City area. A huge thank you to our awesome and loyal customers. Our mission at Victory has always been the same, providing the most transparent and fun customer experience anywhere. Looking for a fantastic truck deal? Check out our January Silverado sale. We're taking up to $12,000 off a new half-ton Silverado crew cab. Visit us today at VictoryChevyKC.com. Chevrolet, find new roads. And remember, at Victory, we sell them all.
Hi, everyone. This is Jordan from the Holiday Distillery, and we want to thank you for keeping your cocktails local. We are grateful for another year of sharing premium spirits with our favorite customers right here in Kansas City. We raise our glasses to you. Happy New Year from the Holiday Distillery.
Hi, this is Tamara Day from HGTV's Bargain Mansions, and I'm here with Carrie from Nutter Home Loans.
We are wishing you a happy holiday season and a home filled with warmth and love.
You've heard Tom Shane on the radio, but have you actually visited Shane Company? If you're looking for a unique engagement ring that reflects your personal style, come see us. Not only do we have all the classics, but our in-house design team is constantly introducing beautiful new styles. For your center stone, you'll find all the traditional diamond shapes, as well as the trending shapes like oval, cushion, and princess cut. Another way to make the ring uniquely yours is to choose a colorful natural center stone. We're known for our vivid rubies and sapphires. Our sapphires come in over a dozen colors, like peach, lavender, and ice blue. Visit our store or go online where you can create and virtually try on any ring. With the largest selection of ring settings and loose stones, unlimited combinations and looks, at Chain Company, you can get your ring your way. We'll protect it for life, for free, and keep it sparkling like the day you said yes.
Now you have a friend in the jewelry business. Shane Company and ShaneCo.com.
Rock your home with new tops from Kansas City's best countertop fabricator, Rock Tops. They custom fabricate and install stone surfaces that will make you fall in love with your home. Making homes look incredible is Rock Tops' thing. Being nice just comes naturally. Rock Tops offers carry-out samples and virtual or in-home appointments. Call 913-782-0802 or go to rocktopskc.com. Mention 810 Rocks to receive 10% off right now.
You're listening to Almost Entirely Sports.
United Arab. What is that?
What was that word?
United. Wow.
With Joshua Brisco.
You called it an Arab for
I know, I
and
did.
then you called it a United.
On Sports Radio 810 WHB.
I've got a couple of good topics for the last segment of this hour before we get to Mick Shaffer of 41 Action News. But Beards, I just need to know kind of how you feel about this one particular topic I'm quite interested in.
Well, I'm going to answer that by leaving.
Well, you know what, Beards? I actually want to talk about the NBA.
Yeah, hey, Beards, I wanted to ask about how the Celtics are the best team in the NBA.
Tell me about Jaylen Brown.
Yeah, could you just talk about
All-Star
Jason?
Jaylen Brown?
Could you talk
Tell
about
me
Jason?
about him.
Can you talk about Jason Tatum for the next, 7 minutes?
He's very good.
Yeah, well, that's not 7 minutes. Beards is, let's say, evacuating the premises.
Left the building. Well, the room.
Beards had a bathroom emergency, and I think it's because he's never eaten a vegetable.
Or a fruit.
Or a fruit.
Or a fruit.
Can you go look and see if the speakers are on in the hallway so he can hear us from the bathroom or not? Because really, this show's kind of about Beards.
I'll
Right?
check. You keep talking.
No, also have breaking baseball news that I really just need you here for, Rudy. So I'll save that until now. But Beard said during the break, I'm going to get you guys started. Then I got to go to the bathroom. Saying, well, we have a longer break here in just a couple of minutes. Can we just? He's like, nope, and he was standing. And I just think that has to be some sort of. That has to be an indictment on the fact that his diet is basically from a TLC Freaky Eaters show.
Yeah, it's a lot of oil.
I just think that he's 90% oil. Yeah. Do you want some breaking baseball news that we can talk about while Beards is gone?
Yeah.
Ken Rosenthal was the first, tweeting that the Cardinals have agreed to acquire Nolan Arenado from the Rockies.
Oh, wow.
Deal pending approval from
Holy
both.
bleep.
Wait till you get the details of this. The details of this make this even stranger. Deal pending approval from both MLB and Players Union. Which way would you expect one team to be sending the other team, quote unquote, significant cash?
I mean, I would think it would be the Rockies to the Cardinals, right? Because Arenado's got a huge contract.
He does. But so here's the thing. Rockies are sending significant cash, believed to be in the $50 million range.
Ooh.
And Arenado will be deferring money.
Ooh.
There's a tweet here from John.
Oh, he has an opt-out, too, I see.
There's a tweet here from John Taylor of Fangraphs that I thought really summed it up pretty well for me. Congrats to the Rockies for being such a butt-stupid organization that they have to give St. Louis $50 million in order to trade the best player they've ever developed.
It's like it's understandable.
It's just what a bungling.
Yeah, I mean, one, you wouldn't think you would need to give up money in general for a player like Nolan Arenado.
And we don't know what they're getting back at this point.
because he truly is. Now if it results in better prospects for giving up more money, that gets them more, again, just another top guy, sure. $50 million is a lot, though.
Jack Flaherty of the Cardinals just tweeted a gif of Allen Iverson clapping. June Lee from ESPN tweeted, the Indians traded their best player, Francisco Lindor, because they didn't want to pay him the long-term money and wanted to maximize his value. What exactly is the plan for the Rockies here? That's the crazy thing about it, is that, again, if you want to flip your best player ahead of the massive deal to try to maximize the value and kind of parlay it into longer value for the years to come, I think that usually sucks, but I at least think that's an argument.
For sure.
As he put it, the Rockies are paying $50 million to trade their best player.
And that's a lot of money to give up. Like again, we see money also get sent, but it's also, I mean, I guess Nolan Arenado technically can't opt out, but like it's usually when a player's kind of going in the last year of his contract, and and again, you're just trying to add value to that player to get better prospects in return. I mean, you don't need to really add that much value to Nolan Arenado. I mean, he's probably the best third baseman in baseball. Like if he's not, he's certainly a top 3 third baseman in baseball, but he's probably the top third baseman in baseball.
Yeah, it is.
It
is wild.
Rocky's gonna rock you, man.
Beards is back. Did you wash your hands, Beards?
Yes, I did.
Here's a tweet that is going around right now, and there's a response that I would like to personally call out here.
Okay.
Name a show where the lead character is the worst character on the show. A certain dead to the show friend of the show who has been sent to Quonset just quote tweeted that with a gif of Jessica Day, and I'm not willing to abide by that. New Girl.
Oh, okay.
That show's great.
I'm not.
She's great.
But he is saying that she is the worst character in the show. And listen, the supporting cast, I understand. I'm not willing to pass that judgment.
I'm a huge Zooey Deschanel fan. Now that cast in general is
excellent,
amazing.
The show is very good.
The worst cast member has an amazing performance, but
what would you think in terms of a show where the main character and not like the worst acted character or the most hateable character, but the character that just does not add to the show as much as all of the side characters do? I think The Office, you'd have to have a conversation about who the top character actually is. Parks and Rec also probably.
Yeah, and like because
Parks and Rec might not be a terrible one.
Because especially with The Office, the main ones are like it's obviously it's Michael. It's Jim.
I think Michael's the main character of the first 4 or 5 seasons.
When they started the show, there are basically 4. I think there was 5 of them that were full time. It was Ryan, it was Dwight, Jim, Pam, and Michael. Like the story was meant to be around
this particular bit, and I just don't think we're gonna land the plane in the next 30 seconds. Beards, do you have an answer?
I don't. I was trying to think if there's anything.
Jon Snow.
No. Who would you say the main character of the last season of Game of Thrones was?
Either him or Daenerys.
The whole show is bad, so.
Maybe just for the last season of Game of Thrones? Beards, what's your least favorite part about the last season of Game of Thrones? Say one bad thing about Game of Thrones and Cyberpunk.
The fact they only had 6 episodes.
Oh, you're an absolute simp.
Worst.
Yeah, that's the first time anyone's ever said the word simp on 810.
Actually, probably, yeah.
Probably, right? Mick Shaffer, not a simp. Next!
You are listening to Almost Entirely Sports with Joshua Brisco on Sports Radio 810 WHB.
Paid for by Bank on Yourself. Would you get on an airplane if you knew it had a 50% chance of crashing? You may be riding that plane right now. If you have your money in a 401k or IRA and you plan to take out the recommended percentage each year when you retire, your chance of running out of money is 50%. 50%. But there's a better and safer way to secure your income in retirement. Discover how in a free book called Rescue Your Retirement. This wealth building strategy has never had a losing year in more than a century. In fact, even the man who invented the 401k now prefers this method instead. Get Rescue Your Retirement free for just a small shipping charge and enjoy a safe landing and a comfortable retirement. Get this free book and make sure you don't run out of money. Hurry, this offer is extremely limited. To get your free copy, just go to growwealthsafely.com. That's growwealthsafely.com to discover how to rescue your retirement. growwealthsafely.com.
Boulevard believes in easy indulgence. That's why they decided to put Tank 7 in cans. Their distinctly American twist on a classic Belgian-style farmhouse ale takes its name from the notoriously unpredictable fermenter where the signature beer's perfect combination of ingredients first came to life. You could call it fate. Their brewers call it Tank 7. Grab a 4-pack and treat yourself to a Tank 7 today. You deserve it. Boulevard Brewing Company, Kansas City, Missouri.
Another reading from the Golden Oak Lending Book of Mortgage Lingo. What is Zipline? It's Golden Oak's fast and easy online mortgage application tool that leaves you with more time to take the dog for a long evening walk. Good dog. Plan a family movie night.
I get to pick the movie.
No, it's my turn.
Is not.
Okay, double feature it is. And still have time to clean up the popcorn you weren't planning on sharing.
Toby.
Bad dog. At Golden Oak Lending, we speak mortgage and love translating it for our customers throughout their lives. Right now, rates are at a historic low 2.5%. Take advantage of today's low rates by visiting us online at goldenoaklending.com to use Zipline, a simple tool that will make your next home loan or refi a breeze. And remember, at Golden Oak, we never charge for a home appraisal if we can't close your loan. NMLS 114937, 2.5% fixed, 2.655% APR on a conventional 15-year mortgage with 30% equity and approved credit. JLB Corporation, 8595 College Boulevard, Overland Park, Kansas.
The Chiefs are going back to the Super Bowl.
Super Bowl 55 is coming to America's largest all-sports radio station, Sports Radio 810, WHB.
The road to repeat for Kansas City will run through Tampa.
As the Chiefs get set to run it back. Follow all the action right here on your home for the NFL playoffs and the Super Bowl. Sports Radio 810, WHB. Number one all day, every day. Kansas City's hometown radio station. 20 years and counting. Sports Radio 810, WHB, Kansas City.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Jim Basquil. Final seconds winding down in New Orleans. First of an ESPN doubleheader with the Pelicans hanging on against the Bucks 127-121 with Giannis scoring 36. Zion Williamson, 21 points, 9 rebounds, and 7 assists for the home team. Meantime, the Clippers getting Kawhi and Paul George back in the lineup. That duo has combined for 50. They're up 23 fourth quarter in Orlando. The Nets up 23 in OKC as they play the fourth quarter. Kevin Durant is resting on this night. How about 41 for Trae Young as the Hawks beat the Wizards 116-100. From baseball, huge deal. The Cardinals acquiring third baseman Nolan Arenado from the Colorado Rockies with plenty of cash, upwards of $50 million in that trade, a package of prospects going to the Rocks. The Cubs signing former Dodger outfielder Jock Peterson, 1 year, $7 million. The Indians coming to terms with outfielder Eddie Rosario on a 1 year, $8 million deal. From the NFL, Lions quarterback Matthew Stafford considers the Rams a viable contender in his trade market. They have explored what it would take for a deal with Detroit, but cutting current quarterback Jared Goff would cost them better than $65 million in dead money, and trading him would cost more than $22 million. Meantime, Hall of Famer John Chaney, one of the most respected college coaches, has died. Chaney led Temple's basketball program for 24 years. He was twice named the National Division I Coach of the Year. Chaney was 89. And Kentucky's game against Texas tomorrow canceled. COVID-19 protocols for the Wildcats program.
Monday with Greeny, we're kicking off Super Week in style as the quarterback carousel continues to turn, and we look ahead to the best quarterback matchup in the history of the game in Mahomes and Brady. That's Monday with me, Greeny, starting 10 a.m. Eastern on ESPN Radio and ESPN+.
This is Almost Entirely Sports with Joshua Brisco.
This is, of all the hours in the week that I do radio, this is one of them.
Yeah, it sure is.
And so I kind of look forward to it now. I'm like, oh, man, bummer.
Well, listen, you got to go out on a good one.
That's right. Like, my last radio hour ever is Brisco's show.
On Sports Radio 810, WHB.
That right there is the sound of Mick Shaffer from 41 Action News enjoying the last of his 3, I believe. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Last of his 3 Dorito Locos tacos. Not a sponsor. Taco Bell not sponsoring this hour of the show. But, man, I would love it if they were. Mick Shaffer in here with us.
Friday's a cheat day, right? Friday's cheat day.
Every day is a cheat day. And here's the thing. I tell you what, this show has historically been a pro Taco Bell show. That's absolutely the case. Matt Verderame, big Taco Bell guy. Taco Bell's always there for you. That's the thing. They're there for you. And I don't know if I've ever gone to Taco Bell and been like, this was not what I expected. Or you know what you're getting when you're in the drive-thru. It's exactly what shows up in the bag, and it's almost always exactly what you needed.
It's like you're craving Doritos Locos Tacos. You get there, and you're like, oh, maybe I want some chicken littles from KFC because they're the same place.
Oh, man, they're right here, though.
It's always such a decision. Do I do the Taco Bell? Do I do the KFC? Do I do a little combination together?
How has that changed? And we are just going to I'm going to ask you questions while you're eating, which is really poor manners by me. What is your, or how has the pandemic, these unprecedented times, they've affected us in so many ways. How has the pandemic affected your Taco Bell KFC in one trip experiences? Because whenever you're in there, it's real easy to stand in one line and then go hop in the other line before your food's even ready at the other one.
Yeah.
But to go through 2 laps of the drive-thru, I have not done that, but I have thought about it.
Do you have to go through 2 laps? Can't you order both?
So,
the one at my place, there's 2 menus right next to each other.
Okay.
One's KFC. You can do a T1 or you can do a K1.
No, the one,
or you can do both.
The one right here.
Yeah,
they're 2 separate drive.
That's the one I just went to.
Oh boy, I hadn't even thought about that. Wow, how magical would it be? Could I get a little? They got some Chipotle chicken griller things back again. Or they're not grillers. There's something though.
Taquito type deal.
Yeah.
Chipotle chicken deal. Yeah.
They brought the little Chipotle chicken thing. Yeah, I'll take one of those. And then could I also get a couple of biscuits, please? Maybe some mashed potatoes and gravy. How about, you know what? I'm feeling peckish today. Could I get that $5 Famous Bowl and also some triple layer nachos? Oh, man. What have I done?
A dozen soft tacos. Now I'm done.
And a Baja Blast and some KFC lemonade.
I have noticed that some places, not all places, make their tacos with Dorito shells, and I'm wondering why.
Yeah,
because those are amazing.
Listen,
that was amazing.
You know, I know this is going to be controversial, but sometimes the original just is not the best. Sometimes the human spirit, it just simply the thought of what if we made this covered in Dorito dust instead. Sometimes that takes you to the highest form. I think we should make non-Dorito shell tacos illegal.
We should. Biden administration, they're coming for your guns.
Listen.
They're going to come for your other tacos, your original tacos.
Yep.
What else?
Corn tortillas.
Anything else you like, it's gone.
It's gone. It's all out of here. They're taking over. Radical agenda, banning all tacos that don't have a Dorito shell. We need unity in these times. We need to unify around Loco Tacos.
We all need to have the same thoughts, okay?
Yes.
No differing opinions.
None.
Taco Bell's already getting to me, guys. You know what I mean?
I was trying to figure out if I needed to offset what you just said in some form. I bet Ted Cruz has never eaten a Dorito taco. And then now we're good. Now we've said sort of political names on either end of the spectrum, and I think we've covered all of our bases, which is if you're not pro Loco Taco, you're a loco. You got it. You're loco, and you should be deported.
Well, yeah.
Should get the loc out of here.
Is that?
I don't know.
Doesn't seem like anything. That's a tough campaign slogan, but we'll try it. Now, when you say that Taco Bell's getting to you, I have 2 different ways that I can feel. Sometimes I can feel the impact of a Taco Bell trip. There are 2 sort of discernible things that I feel. Neither of them are necessarily a jolt of energy. Where are you at right now in the process?
Farting.
I'm gonna put my mask back on. I don't think.
And it's not for the Rona.
No, I don't think our 6 feet of distancing is gonna protect me from what I'm really afraid of. What's your meal? The answer could be Taco Bell, I suppose. I think I have. We can even go in.
I'm masked up down there too.
We can go around the. What was that?
I'm masked up down there too.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
You got the bottom mask.
Well, I mean,
top and bottom mask. They come in the same package.
I have coverings.
That's true, I guess. Yeah. If you came in wearing a pair of underwear over your face, it'd be like that counts. That's close enough, I suppose. Hope those are clean. We can go around the room if we even need to here. I would like to know what is essentially your coma meal, right? The meal where you're like, oh man, I'm feeling like I'm gonna treat myself a little bit. Like I don't have anything to do even tomorrow morning. I am planning on a food hangover here.
Maybe going to die 2 days later.
I could die in 2 days, but boy, this sounds delicious right now. What is that for you?
I think me and you.
Do we have the same one?
I think there's a good chance we have the same one.
Is it within probably a light jog of here?
You could say
Five Guys?
It's Five
Five
Guys.
Guys. Yeah.
It's for me. It's Five Guys.
Yeah.
Because you.
I didn't even consider that bad. I've got a lot worse on my mind right now.
All right. Well, I'm gonna pitch you Five Guys. I'm gonna tell you what I ate last night also, and then I want to know your answer. So, Five Guys. Here's the thing. Their default is a double burger. Like that's where they start.
Yep.
And so I'm
and
like
3 bags full of fries.
And when I'm gonna get bacon on it, because I'm treating myself, it's like 70
Yep.
cents, and who cares how many calories it adds? I'm eating Five Guys.
I'm throwing on some grilled jalapenos because I like that spicy.
yeah.
Give me
Love
that
that.
kick.
Load that baby up. Yeah, of course I'm getting cheese on it. There's already 2 patties. One time I think Rudy, you went and picked up Five Guys.
Yeah.
And I asked for the double. I didn't even think about like what are they all called, so I asked for the double one, and Rudy took that to mean like whatever the next one up is. So I haven't had a burger with 3 Five Guys patties right before a radio show. Probably the worst show I've ever done. I don't even remember it. I blacked out.
That is a high bar.
I know. Yeah, I know. It wasn't even a Friday. Yeah, it's incredible. And then the fries, you can get the little fries. A big Cajun fry guy.
Ooh, yeah.
The little fries is just a full paper bag of French fries.
Yeah, it's
So I cannot. I dead serious. Will not eat Five Guys if I still have work to do in that day. What did you? I'll tell you what I ate last night in a little bit. What is your first place coma meal?
First one that came to mind, speaking of places that combo up with other restaurants, if you sent me to a Long John Silver's.
Really?
Ready to go. And not even, I don't like fish, but
We've been over
their
this.
Chicken
Yeah,
planks.
wait, you don't like fish?
Yeah.
Oh, not in my mouth.
You don't like fish?
But their chicken planks,
What about shrimp?
No, nothing from the sea. Not even if I
even
know.
fried fish?
I know
Lobster?
if I knew that chicken ever waded in some water.
What
I'm
ab-
not eating that.
Some oysters.
What about the fish of the sea?
If you keep
Tuna?
oh, we
We
did
did
this
this
before.
bit. We did this bit already. We've definitely already done this bit. So wait, that's stunning though. So knowing that, and by the way, if you're listening to the podcast, you're listening now, whatever. If you're thinking, I'd like to kill some time, I'd like to kill about 30 minutes in the stupidest way possible. Just Google like Mick Shaffer fish and almost
Wait, it's out
entirely
there?
sports. The podcast that we did with this bit last time will kill 30
I remember
minutes.
I was so pissed. I was on the phone. I was so upset.
We made it into a lineup.
It's
It's great.
It's really, really good. If anyone needs to kill that time, but so then walk me through. What are you getting at Long John Silver's?
However many, whatever the max planks are, is it 5?
Is planks their chicken thing?
Chicken?
I don't think I've
Oh,
eaten
yeah.
at Long John Silver's since I was 12.
Oh, are you kidding me? And then they have the great fries, crispy grill or crispy, just greasy, and then they got the little flakes of just fat. Basically, you can eat those. What are those called? I can't remember. And then I will get a lot of
hush puppies.
No,
the
that's a little
flakes.
bread ball.
They're just like that come off. It's just,
I'm on their website right now. I'm
Brady,
gonna
I
find the
guess.
answer for this.
but
They had a little
it's
rebranding.
It's not on the menu. It just comes.
Okay.
It's just there
Yeah.
on the plate. And then I will get a lot of hush puppies.
So if you just Google Mick Shaffer loves fish, first thing that pops up, Mick Shaffer loves seafood. June 19th, 2020.
All right, the podcast title is Mick Shaffer Loves Seafood.
Yeah.
That was less than a year ago. That was 6 months ago or whatever.
It feels like it was
God,
years
Is
ago.
that true?
Yeah.
It really does. All right, I'm on mentalfloss.com, 9 swashbuckling facts about Long John Silver's. Those little pieces of fried batter that they sprinkle over their fish and fried platters can actually be ordered as a secret menu side dish called crumbs, crunchies, or crispies.
Yeah, baby.
The pieces of batter taste like crunchy fried dough.
Yeah.
They
straight fat.
sprinkle that over the top of like your back. Like they just
No,
they,
no. It
they
just- it
dress
just-
they dress them in it.
It's
it
just
looks.
like it just kind of fills in the room between your planks and the coleslaw,
No,
slaw
that
and the
sounds-
flies and everything.
That
Yeah.
sounds great. I just seriously don't think I've been to Long John Silver's, and again, since my grandparents would have taken me, when I was 8 in Wichita.
Yeah,
but I can't believe you don't like fish.
Oh boy.
Did you? Oh, let me tell you about what I ate last night. You guys want to know what I ate last night? I gotta make sure I get the
love
name
to
of this
know.
thing right here. It is called the American Grilled Cheese Company. I think it's delivery only. It's definitely in DoorDash. And if I'm going to show you some of the pictures from this place. And it is.
I take pictures of my food guy?
No, I'm just going to go to their like DoorDash listing. Also not a sponsor. And it's all, to be honest, it was pretty pricey for a place called the American Grilled Cheese Company. But they have, here's your Nashville hot chicken grilled cheese.
Oh no!
Yeah,
way.
yeah. There's a brisket one there.
What is happening?
Here's what I got because I was feeling like I could handle this. There's half of this still in my fridge as we speak. Will not be there much longer. The double burger with bacon grilled cheese. There's an extra piece of bread in the middle that I didn't even recognize until it arrived.
Double burger.
It's hard to explain. It looks pornographic. It's just in the pure amount of things oozing. It's really upsetting. And then they have something called deep fried cookie dough. It's $7 for 6 of them, I believe.
What's this place called?
I would have paid $95 for this order of these things again. They are incredible. It's called American Grilled Cheese Company. I can't find if anyone within the sound of my voice knows about this place. I'd like more information because I even like Googling it after the fact was
where's it located?
I don't know. I think it said it's on Metcalf.
From there.
I know, but it doesn't have an actual storefront, I guess. And if you Google it, you eventually find something called the American Grilled Cheese Kitchen in some other state. I don't know. It is a genuine mystery to me. But it was one of the most sort of indulgent. It would now get very near that. Please don't eat this and then operate heavy machinery because you've got something chemicals happening within your brain.
It is on Metcalf. I found an address for it.
But it doesn't have you can't go get food from there, can you?
I mean, that I don't know. A website did not pop up.
Their Facebook page has like 400 likes and like no information. It's very strange.
Basement?
It literally could be someone's
They just take
kitchen.
great pictures of food to make it look legit.
I'm all right with that.
It could be someone's kitchen
Is
with
this
a
just
professional
Facebook
photographer.
Just somebody selling stuff on Facebook Marketplace.
Maybe it was wild. Again, I finally found their website. It was a little pricey. Their mac and cheese, and just fair and balanced coverage, not great. Mac and cheese was not great. Would not recommend that. Would recommend the deep fried cookie dough though.
So you actually found a website? Because I'm not
AmericanGrilledCheeseCompany.com I've now found. Again, I cannot stress enough that this is not an ad. I just ate it for the first time last night. If you click our locations, there's apparently a bunch of them. So it is a franchise, I guess. I don't know, man. There's only one anywhere near us.
I like believing that this is just being made. It's kind of like somebody's own fight club in their basement, but it's grilled cheese club. It's just a couple. Just 4 or 5 guys just getting together and making grilled cheese.
Just in a basement that is just ventilating pot smoke just the whole time because of what these foods look like. Like you can't. These were not invented by a sober person. Anyway, this has been great, Mick. This is because your love of Dorito tacos.
Your show should be called Almost Entirely Other Stuff. Because it's not right saying almost entirely sports.
We have
a Super Bowl on the horizon.
Well, it's a full week away.
And we're like 14 minutes in.
Yeah, 14.
First time we said Super Bowl.
Well, so here's the thing. I do think that your hour, right at the end of the week, really, really crushes our trajectory. Where it's like, wow, they're actually talking like more sports this week than the title would indicate. All right, we'll come back. We'll wrap up the week with Mick Shaffer, and then it's just
drops off a cliff.
Just bought. Mick walked in with some Dorito Locos tacos. Mick, what do you want to talk about today?
We got 2 segments right now just because of that.
We got 2 segments. There's something else that we could talk about, and then did you get into are you into the stock market, Mick? Did you buy some GameStop shares this week?
It's funny. So this is a couple weeks ago. My 17-year-old son texted me. He's like, "Hey, when you get home, I want to talk to you about getting in the stock market."
How long ago was this?
2 weeks ago.
Oh,
it was before the deal.
Oh,
man. And so I go, why? He said, well, some of the guys at baseball were talking about it. They got in and made like $1,400 last month.
Ooh.
I go, I'm the last person you want to talk to about getting into the stock market. But B, I know enough to tell you it's not as easy as just jumping in and making $1,400. But apparently it was.
It was. Yeah. This
a few
time
days
it
ago.
was.
It was.
This was the one time where it was that easy.
Yeah. It was that easy if what you decided to invest in was a dying company that is most famous for giving you 9 cents for your $40 barely used video game.
Yeah.
But
that's what they're known for.
But they would give you 10 cents in store credit.
That's true.
Yeah.
So you really
They'd
could.
they'd always
get
bump
that
it up a
boost
little
there.
bit, get that store credit.
Do you just not? Are you? You said you're the worst person to ask about stock stuff.
Yeah.
See, what you're telling me is you cannot. You see all the red numbers on my phone right now. You cannot fix this for me.
During the first week of the first week of the playoffs when they had the Nickelodeon broadcast and they were just explaining football
You're right,
to
you
everybody.
mentioned this.
I tweeted out that I need that kind of broadcast for things like the stock market.
That
And
would be so useful right now.
I have a brother-in-law of a brother-in-law. Is that how that works? Yes. Which is not me. It's on the other side. He basically is day trading and spends a few hours, several hours a day on it. And it's both basically supplanted what he would make at his previous job. So
wow.
Not bad.
So apparently, yeah, there's videos on YouTube that talk about, okay, here's what we're expecting tomorrow, and you buy low, sell high, and don't get. I mean, it's not obviously you're not spending thousands of dollars on each purchase, but you're building it, I guess. So I know of some day traders, and I know my 17-year-old wants to be one.
Did he get in at the right time?
He didn't get in. He didn't get in at all anytime.
Get in on BlackBerry, even if it doesn't work out for him. Maybe it'll save me about $100 that are currently
So
falling out of my pocket.
Are you trading on a daily basis?
No, I have, and I've said this. And listen, I mean, if this puts a target on my back, I understand. Please don't. I don't have it in cash yet, but I do have 2 shares of GameStop stock. So you might not even see me next week because I might
close
be
to retirement at this point.
I'm pretty close to
getting
retirement.
there.
I'm probably going to go to the Super Bowl just as a fan. I'm going to buy whatever the most expensive ticket is just because I can afford to.
The most expensive ticket is you're just going to buy the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
I might just buy the Bucks. There's a great chance of that. But I have been genuinely fascinated by it over this last week.
This thing has been amazing. It's been the one thing that's brought Democratic and Republican senators and representatives together. They all agreed this is BS by what the Wall Street is doing, and they're all like, it's Pelosi and Ted Cruz saying the same, making the same comments.
AOC,
There
Ted
we go.
Cruz, Dave Portnoy, and Ben
reaching, right?
Shapiro are
We're
all like, this
together.
sucks.
We've all come
ridiculous.
together.
Yes.
Ilhan Omar and Ben Shapiro both going like, yeah, no, this is messed up, actually. It's crazy. It's unbelievable.
All it took was a couple billionaires just trying to rob billions of dollars from the American people.
Yeah.
And
This is all we needed.
you find a few people on Reddit and Twitter that are like, actually, this sucks. And like, oh, yeah, well, what if we just buy a bunch of games? It's slightly more complicated than that, but barely. It's barely more complicated.
It's what Christian Bale did in The Big Short, right?
Yeah.
They
I
bet on
never
it to
saw
fail.
that.
So,
I'm
yeah,
afraid if I
so-
watch it. I'm afraid if I watch it now, you really might not see.
That's
me
a bigger
again.
deal, though,
Here's
because
the
it was a GameStop. He bet on everybody's houses.
Yeah, so it's the same thing, but the flip to where the American people
Is that
are
why it's
doing
called the Big
this.
Short? Because they were shorting it. I
Yeah,
do.
yeah.
remember-
Yes, that's
So,
why.
I learned about shorting.
The American people
3 days ago.
are basically trying to essentially, screw over the hedge fund people,
Right.
right? So this was the reverse, where a couple of people basically they bet on the American economy just completely collapsing, and when it did, they
Yeah.
made billions of dollars. So
All
it's,
right.
it's the same, but it's like the reverse.
We're
ends of the
flipping it
spectrum.
around. Power to the
Yeah.
people. The Bigger Short.
Yep.
The Bigger Shorter. And Uncut. Is that the Family Guy movie? The South Park movie. It's called Bigger, Longer, and Uncut.
Oh, okay. Yeah. It's been a while. since
I mean,
yeah,
just,
yes,
I mean,
yes.
you guys don't know anything. Well, let's take a break. Whenever we come back, I want to ask you why you were in a pen with a bunch of goats this week.
Why not?
Mick Shaffer, 41 Action News, will answer that question next.
Want more Almost Entirely Sports? Watch the show live on the Sports Radio 810 Facebook page.
Find your style with Patriot Lighting from Menards. We carry a great selection of interior lighting products. Check out the Leaf Island Light. Its stylish design will add a modern touch to any kitchen with its satin nickel frame and graphite accents. Just $149.99. The Brooklyn Island Light comes with vintage-style bulbs and has an industrial feel. Right now, it's only $189.99. Save on everything to update your home now at Menards. Price is good through Sunday, January 31st.
Save big money at Menards.
At Consolidated Communications, your small business is our priority. We know every penny counts, so we're focused on price and flexibility. Get powerful, reliable internet with no data cap, starting at $19.99 a month when you bundle with phone. Choose from speeds up to 100 megabits and lock in savings up to 3 years. Plus, get free installation. We also offer business website solutions to help you enhance your online presence. Visit consolidated.com/fastbusinessinternet. Not all services available in all areas. Terms and conditions apply.
Do you have a frog? a freezing room over the garage? Now that everyone is home, are you looking to convert your frog into an office, a schoolroom, or a comfortable room to escape your family? With no ductwork required, Mitsubishi Electric offers room-by-room air filtration and precise temperature control. Let's help you turn those cold, uncomfortable spaces in your house into a space you and your family will really enjoy. To learn more about Mitsubishi Electric's solutions, visit keepkccool.com today. Now, they can help you whether you need to heat it up or cool it down. Mitsubishi's got you covered. Our biggest problem here in the Sports Radio 810 control room and studio was the heat. We've got a lot of windows and a lot of radio equipment, and our Mitsubishi unit has kept us cool for years. It works like a charm, and it works quickly, and it's whisper quiet. It's been a real game changer for us at Sports Radio 810. Check them out at keepkccool.com. That's keepkccool.com today.
A KC tradition since 1957, Hereford House is a locally owned steakhouse that has served generations of Kansas Cityans. Hereford House exclusively serves certified Hereford beef, which has been proven to be naturally more tender and flavorful than other brands. All their steaks are aged 21 days, hand-cut daily, and grilled over an open charcoal flame. This process provides a wonderful aroma and delicious flavor that cannot be duplicated by any other cooking method. Hereford House, Leawood, Independence, Shawnee, and Zona Rosa.
You're listening to Almost Entirely Sports.
You want to try to do supercalifragilistic?
Oh, yeah. I used to, I sprung that on me. I think it's like 33 or something.
It's 34.
With Joshua Brisco.
How I spell it is 33.
On Sports Radio 810 WHB.
Mick Shaffer, 41 Action News, still with us here, expert in getting chicken from seafood places and in the stock market. During the break, Mick, I did lose it all. So, do you have like an extra room in your house that I could?
It would be great. You come stay with us for a while, and that would be a great example to my son that wants to get in the stock market. It'd be like, don't end up like this guy.
Yeah, I'm willing to be that good example in exchange for, I would say, a good month of free housing while I kind of just pull the pieces of my life back
Go
together.
get a degree in financing. Don't do the journalism.
A while back, we used to live close to each other, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I thought you were asking Rudy, and I was like, did you guys live close to each other? I'm sorry, Mick.
Michelle and I were close.
You guys were close. You guys hung out at all the same Mill Valley adjacent pool parties and everything. Yeah, we lived very close to each other.
Just in your home?
A moment. No, there's the public pool that I think we've probably both gone to before, actually.
Maybe.
It's literally just down the street from Mill Valley.
I'm all about public pools. I've ramped up my attendance at public pools this last year. I mean, just can't get enough.
No, listen, especially when it's I don't know, 50 degrees. That's great pool weather.
It's beautiful outside.
Yeah, it's beautiful. Just go get a little tan.
Weather's great, not a lot going on. Everybody's got more free time.
Yeah. Great time to be at the pool with lots of people closely in the same body of water. But you did I'm going to say, I don't want to make this sound, less official than it is, but you essentially did a bit on 41 this week where you went to Deanna Rose, a place that I've been to many times. I was homeschooled, so Deanna Rose was like was a boon.
That was science class.
That was my science class, yeah. I think the last time I officially got a science credit from there, I was 19, because I went to Mid-America after that, so it's basically a homeschool college.
Basically.
But you went to Deanna Rose.
My nieces and nephew are homeschooled, and they go to Sonic like every day. I totally wish I was homeschooled.
I went to Sonic so many times. My mom and I would go to Sonic and then go to garage sales as and I learned about the economy.
Right.
I learned about the economy. I did the stock market on Neopets, and I learned how to haggle at garage sales. And now, let me check my portfolio again. I'm worth $10 billion. It's all gone. The markets are closed. How is that even happening? But you went to Deanna Rose. You interviewed some goats.
Yeah, I talked to some goats.
You interviewed some goats.
We did more of the interviewing with the humans there.
Right.
But that was the gist of the story. It wasn't a bit. All right, it was a package, okay? 2 minutes. That's what it's called, a package. Right?
Package bit.
According to Andy Reid, it's a package of goodness, okay?
Okay.
2 minutes, which is a long time in television.
2 minutes
like
is
an hour
a long time for your package.
Yes.
No question.
But it's so good. So our gist was, okay, everybody's talking about the GOAT. Is it the real GOAT, Patrick Mahomes? Is it Tom Brady? We went to talk to real GOATs.
It's a great package.
And so we made comparisons of GOATs to football players, and we basically figured out that Mahomes is much more like a goat.
Yeah, so
than Tom Brady.
So walk us through. One of the real obvious things about Patrick Mahomes, his voice is very unique.
Yeah.
Tom Brady's voice, not particularly unique. He's just kind of the cool dude back behind center. Not really reflective of how it works for goats.
I mean, look, Patrick Mahomes has a unique voice, just like goats.
Yep.
Goats' voices are wacky, by the way.
Crazy. Rudy, go ahead.
I don't know if I can do it.
Go make goat noise.
I almost said ba.
Go ahead. They kind of ba.
Do goats ba?
Sort of.
Ba.
Yeah.
Okay, so yep, that's
that's more
annoying, and it sounds like a human kid not getting his way. And
That-
they're called kids.
They're called kids. They're not called old men.
Right, they're not. So I asked, I'm like, so what's an old goat called? Is it called a tom? Because some animals are called toms.
Yeah, you can have a
Probably.
tomcat.
Yeah, tomcat. So
That's the only one I can
wasn't.
think of.
But listen, he's got a unique voice.
Yep.
He's got a goatee. Kind of here and there.
Yeah, he's got a little chin scraggle there.
Yeah, and then I asked her, "Have you ever met a goat with a dimpled chin?" Like, no, exactly.
Never.
Yeah.
How many goats? How many goats have had the level of plastic surgery necessary to look the way they do right now? No,
great
absolutely
point.
not. They
And
work
Mahomes-
what they got.
The hair on top is kind of some of goats. Kind of have that strip
little
on top.
tuft of hair.
Little tuft.
Yeah,
up there.
absolutely.
And so and I asked him, I'm like, okay, so what if I had a big bowl here, it's called a Super Bowl?
Well,
if I had a
let's
Super
call
Bowl,
it the Big Game Bowl.
Big Game Bowl. Well, we can. It's a news show here. We can say Super Bowl
Wow,
all we
great
want.
point. Okay.
You can't say it on
The
a commercial.
superb owl.
Superb owl.
So we have a large bowl,
Right.
perhaps it's super.
And one's filled with ketchup,
Yeah.
and the other's filled with something stupid like vitamins.
Avocado ice
Oh
cream
my
and
God,
vitamins.
the worst.
Yeah.
Just water.
What would the goats eat? They're like, oh, they go to the ketchup. I'm like, absolutely they would.
Of course.
It's a blowout.
I even asked him, I'm like, because I brought props. I had a football. I threw a football into a pen with old goats, and they didn't want to touch it. And then we brought some pictures of all the goats I could think of. And so I asked the lady, I'm
The
like,
picture, yeah.
Who were all the goats you could think of?
three of them.
Yeah.
Patrick Mahomes, Tom
Yeah.
Brady,
Understandable.
myself.
Yeah, no argument.
Checks out.
Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure.
And went right to Patrick Mahomes. It might have been where we put the food. I don't remember. And just stayed there. Didn't even give my picture a sniff whatsoever. Dumb goats.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I was like, I'm bringing a lot of ketchup. Can they eat ketchup? They're like, they would love ketchup, but we try to keep them on a diet to where people saw this, they might think, hey, I can feed them chips and the bag of chips,
Yeah.
the actual bag and my shoe
Here's plastic.
and everything. So we try to, we don't want to promote that they're eating, ketchup, and they're very nice about it. But the lady's like, I know exactly where you're going with this. I'm like, yeah.
So,
So it's very cool.
Is it true that goats eat like a whole can? I feel like I've heard that since I was a child.
That they'll
Could have
basically eat just anything that is left there.
Yeah. You're the goat expert in this room now for sure.
I am. I don't know. I will say this. We tried to get them, the little closing shot was going to be the goat eating Tom Brady's picture, right? We even covered it
that's so good.
with, we even covered it with like food residue, right?
Oh,
and
man.
and
Just
they
some
had it in their mouth for a
Dorito
little
dust.
bit, and they realized it wasn't food, and so they spit it out. So I never used that shot.
That makes sense
That's
because
disappointing.
based off Tom Brady's diet, there's no way there's no way that's good meat.
No.
That's true. How long do you think if you took a Lombardi trophy and you just put it in a big pen of young goats?
How long would it take to pass through
for them
once
to
they ate it?
fully consume it?
I don't know that they would. I just they're small. Oh, by the way, the goats we were around, there were 35 of them, and they were
That's a large
get
number
this,
of
they were
goats.
all pregnant.
Whoa.
And I was there 2 days ago. Since 2 days, they probably have all had their kids.
Oh.
And like a lot of them have twins, triplets, quadruplets. One was gigantic. I'm like, how big is that goat is gonna have?
I saw one giant
they're
goat.
They're like, there's 4 goats in there. I'm like, that makes sense. And
That
so I'm
checks
like, I
out.
go, they're all pregnant at the same time. They're like, yes. I can't remember if they call it a bull or a buck, but they bring it to basically put the seed in all the female goats, and at the same time, because they somehow cycle all at the same time, they're all in heat at the same time, and got them all pregnant, and just having a ton of goats all at once.
Wow.
And so they have literally 50 or 60 goats all in a matter of a few days every year, and then they adopt them out. and they name every single goat every year.
Mhm.
This year they're doing Hanna-Barbera characters, which is awesome. I just want
That's very good.
Goat named Foghorn Leghorn. This is
Very
awesome.
Very good.
A couple years ago, they did Disney princesses and characters and all that. Last year, around the Super Bowl, they did Chiefs.
Awesome.
They named all the goats after Chiefs.
Yeah.
And I was like, first thing I was like, well, you got 60 goats. There's only 53 men on the roster. They're like, we did former Chiefs as well.
Oh, okay.
So there was a Moon, as in Warren
That's
Moon.
not a bad name for a goat.
Right. So one was named Mahomes.
Yeah.
And they all get tagged on their ear. And depending on the color scheme, that lets you know which year it was. And then everybody has a number. So, of course, every goat last year had their number.
So good.
From football. And so there was a goat named Mahomes, 15. It was the quickest they had ever adopted a goat in the history of the farm.
We have to be able to control that power of just like if you just put Mahomes on anything. Face, name, literally anything.
It's what Taco Bell, we're breaking out the new Mahomes. What is it? I don't care.
It doesn't.
I'll have it.
Yes, you go to a KFC Taco Bell and you order the Mahomes, and it's just gonna be a big bowl with a bunch of things in it.
Mm-hmm.
But you know what? You're gonna buy it.
Yeah.
And goats would love it.
Yes.
I bet goats would love to eat a bowl of KFC Taco Bell mess. It's a great story. Do you know? Was there any word as to like which goat got adopted out like last or like towards the end?
They still have a few left from last year.
Wow.
Several left from last year.
Is there a Winchester still like hanging out?
It's a great point.
It's a good goat name though. I'd name a goat Winchester.
Wisniewski.
Is Wisniewski still available? That's fabulous. Would Foghorn Leghorn be your preferred Hanna-Barbera goat name?
I say that because at Metro Sports, they used to have all these trucks basically to do live events. Some were big trucks, some small, some were medium sized. They named them after Hanna-Barbera characters. So we had Fog, we had Taz for
Taz is
Tasmanian
great.
Devil, we had Elmer.
Elmer's pretty good.
So you need
I
to
would have
find
gone with Fudd, I think.
Yeah, you need to find a theme that has like 60.
A lot
you
of
got to do
choices.
like Marvel characters. You're
Yeah.
gonna run out, or you'll probably get them all from Marvel, but you can't do like.
You're gonna have to dig. They can't all be Star-Lord.
Yeah, right. It can't just be like characters from Dirty Dancing. Well, there's 9, and we have 60 goats. Okay, and they're all not gonna be named Baby.
We could probably get to 60 like Kansas City media members. Like there was pretty
That'd be
close to
great.
that. And at one point, what was the most full that the Chiefs media room got last year pre-COVID? You
That
definitely got
tiny
to at
little
least
room they stuff
41.
us in?
'Cause remember you talking about getting to 41.
That's right.
So we've definitely capped 40.
Yeah.
And that didn't include, whoever was on the air at the time.
Oh, there's definitely 60 media members.
We could get to 60.
I remember the late great Greg Hall back in like 05 or something like that. He did his top 100 media members,
Wow.
sports media members in Kansas City.
Wow. Where did you rank?
I was actually like 4th or something like that.
Do you think you were exactly 4th?
No, it was top 10 though.
Okay.
You know who was really high at the time? Not literally, Jed. But very high on the list, who was at the time just kind of nowhere near a big of a part of the show here as he is now. Curtis Siebold was like
Wow.
top 5, I remember.
Love to see that.
Yeah, love to see it.
There was a blog that was.
But I remember I was the highest rated TV guy. I'm like, I feel good about that.
Yeah, that's a full W right there. Absolutely. The reason I asked if you were specifically,
I still remember 99 and 100 too, who they were. I will not say it right here during the break. I'll make sure the
Are they
microphones
still
turned off.
currently?
One is. I'm not even like if you ask, I'm not gonna say yes or no. Or even-
No, because that would require me then being the first one to say a name that I think would be 99 or 100, and I don't want to do that either. I just think it's really disrespectful to do that to Nate.
He was both 99. And
It was
100.
both 99 and 100. What I was doing there was who would be the funniest name of someone who works here that will understand that was a joke and will take it fine. I thought, you know what, Nate seems safe.
I don't know.
I think pretty
He
much
might
everyone who's here right now though would also. I would
burn
be
this thing down.
I'd be fine with that. I feel like everybody.
He's gonna own this show. It's gonna be the Nate Bucati show.
I don't think he wants that. Was the only thing. That's the only thing keeping that from happening. The only reason that the program doesn't just go until 11 now is that they don't want to do that.
Yeah, he's buying up your stock. Actually, he's betting on the show being shorted.
That's
He's
probably,
shorting this show.
That's probably a much smarter bet. The reason I asked if you're specifically fourth is because to this day I have a distinct memory of someday. I think it was before. It was either right around when Almost Entirely Sports was starting down on ESPN Kansas City, or even pre that. A now defunct sports blog ranked just media people or radio hosts in Kansas City, and I came flying in at number 4. So I now will add to my resume, and anywhere people let me say, I was once declared the 4th best radio personality in Kansas City, according to a now defunct sports blog. The whole phrase there is really important because it provides the proper context. But being 4th, nothing wrong with being 4th, especially if you're the number 1 TV guy. It's very exciting.
I'm looking it up here to see if it's still out there. It was a long time ago.
What year do you think this was?
Like 05 or something like that.
Wow. Really kind of puts your Jed joke into a different...
Right.
Where was Jed in 2005? I really have no idea.
Jed?
I have no
Oh,
idea how
man.
old... Can I be honest? I could go ask him.
I have a rough idea. He would have been right at the end of college
Oh, yeah,
or
you're
just
right then.
graduated.
You're good then. I think you're good then, Mick. I think that joke landed. I have no idea. Jed could be anywhere within like a 20-year span, and I would not be surprised.
He's sneaky old.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
wouldn't... that if he's just getting done with college then he's like 5 years younger than me, 6 years younger than me.
I think he's in his upper 30s at this point.
Oh, yeah.
Mick, sneaky
So
young.
he's older than you.
I'll say
actually.
it.
You're what? You're 29 in the TV biz?
As far as you know,
Yeah, well, you're what? How old do you need to be to really maximize your next contract?
Yeah.
To what you're looking for is the real question.
I don't know. It's all about looking old and looking young. So I looked young forever, and that didn't help.
Right now, you're at a point where you're youthful, but authoritative enough to tell me about the sports
wheelhouse.
news.
Yeah,
You have hit your stride. Eventually,
you have my respect.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I got like a few more months, maybe.
well, and you would have had my respect if I only knew you through television and
Good
didn't
point.
know you like on a personal level, like right now.
Yeah,
Because
no.
it's really
Ruins
hard
it.
for me to say like I respect that person as a man while he is like throat deep in his 3rd Dorito Loco taco of the day. It's like it challenges me. I think I'll be able to figure it out in a quiet moment at home tonight. I'll kind of meditate on what I saw today, and I'll get around it. This has been great. You want to talk about the Super Bowl some?
I'm going, man. 5 days from now, 6 days. We're going Thursday.
Let's talk about that, but not just yet, because we have to take a commercial break.
Okay.
Because that's how radio works. Mick Shaffer, last segment of the week next here on Sports Radio 810.
At JB Brisco, at Beards McFly, at Not That Rudy, at Sports Radio 810. Just do it already.
Are you ready, Kansas City? Our favorite team is heading to Tampa, and we're ready to enter the red zone at Red Door Grill. Celebrate the big game with big flavors. Pre-order the famous charred wood-fired wings or keep it fresh with one of the all-new handcrafted salads. Made from scratch, tossed to perfection, guaranteed to be a fan favorite. Get 20 of the wood-fired wings for $25 or 100 for just $100. So what are you waiting for, KC? Order online today at reddoorgrill.com or download the new app.
Rock your home with new tops from Kansas City's best countertop fabricator, Rock Tops. They custom fabricate and install stone surfaces that will make you fall in love with your home. Making homes look incredible is Rock Tops' thing. Being nice just comes naturally. Rock Tops offers carry-out samples and virtual or in-home appointments. Call 913-782-0802 or go to rocktopskc.com. Mention 810 Rocks to receive 10% off right now.
Hey KC, Jeff Badine from Mercedes-Benz of Kansas City. Thanks to you, our loyal customers, 2020 was the best year in our history. We're celebrating with our certified pre-owned event month. Get 1.99% financing and we'll even make your first 2 payments. Rows and rows of premium vehicles to choose from. You can afford your dream car at Mercedes-Benz of Kansas City. Visit us online today at mbfkc.com. Mercedes-Benz of Kansas City, 1/2 mile east of State Line Road on Highway 150. Minutes from everywhere.
Financing with approved credit, 36 months, MBFS, ends 1/31/20. 2 payments up to $1,500, select CPO months.
At Mercedes-Benz of Kansas City, the executive loaner fleet is a cut above the norm, featuring an assortment of 2020 Mercedes-Benz models. Now, combine that with 1.99% financing on most of the executive loaner cars, and you have a golden opportunity to make your next vehicle a Mercedes-Benz. Need more incentives? They need your trade-in. So go see your next car at Mercedes-Benz of Kansas City, 1/2 mile east of State Line on Highway 150, or online at mbofkc.com. With approved credit, see dealer for details.
Stephen St. John here from our friends at CarStar, the auto body repair experts. Nobody wants to deal with the hassle of getting your vehicle fixed after a fender bender. But if it does happen, be sure to call CarStar. CarStar has 14 locally owned and operated collision centers around the KC Metro. They are the experts. They are iCar Gold and OE certified, and they have the highest customer service ratings in the city. If you get in a wreck, call 1-800-CARSTAR or go to carstar.com. CarStar. Relax. They'll take it from here.
Find your style with Patriot Lighting from Menards. We carry a great selection of interior lighting products. Check out the Leaf Island light. Its stylish design will add a modern touch to any kitchen with its satin nickel frame and graphite accents. Just $149.99. The Brooklyn Island light comes with vintage style bulbs and has an industrial feel. Right now it's only $189.99. Save on everything to update your home now at Menards. Price is good through Sunday, January 31st.
Save big money at Menards.
This is Almost Entirely Sports with Joshua Brisco.
The more dead puppies there are in the world, the more that's going to dilute the cuteness of the puppies that we have right now. Less puppies means more cute, okay? They said it in Incredibles.
On Sports Radio 810, WHB.
Last segment of the week here on Almost Entirely Sports. We'll do it now with Mick Shaffer of 41 Action News. Mick, we've talked about sleepy food. We've talked about goats. We have a full week until we are in, like, Super Bowl mode. To be honest,
for yourself.
Yesterday's press conferences, did those titillate you on some level? Were you fascinated?
Titillated all over the place.
Yeah, I can imagine. My microphone just, like, flipped over. How titillated were you by the fact that Chris Jones says he reads everything on Twitter, which is cool because it means Chris Jones and I have at least one thing in common. Tyrann Mathieu definitely searches his name on Twitter and responds to things. We know that literally happened this morning also, and then he deleted it. That's fine. It's whatever. Please don't tweet me that I mentioned the fact that you guys are doing that. It's whatever. It's fine. That seems unhealthy. You strike me as someone who has some, like, filters on your Twitter notifications, and that you're just not. You, at least for a very long time, you were not even interacting with the peons below you.
Yeah.
You've done that a little more.
Yeah, I'm trying to give.
Now you're verified as well.
Right.
Which is important.
Yeah, I'm trying to go back to that where I don't interact with people whatsoever.
Yeah.
It's the best. It's the best way.
It really is.
So yeah, no, I've gotten pretty good over the years of look back in the day. You have like 9 people saying something good about you, and then the one that doesn't is one sticks in your craw, and you get upset. You fire back. I don't do it. I just don't do it. I let it go. I think that's the best way. I don't need to. I feel like that shows maybe kind of some thin-skinnedness in that they're getting to you, and if you do that more, more people will reply to you. So, I mean, I haven't had a negative response to me since like 2015, so it's been great.
That's nice. my thought process on that is that like let's use Tyrann Mathieu and Chris Jones, right? They're both so excellent at what they do that I'm guessing that they don't have the voice in the back of their head that is just so loud for people like, I don't know, like me or other people that's just like, you're bad at this, you should do something else, people hate you, that kind of thing. Like some people, like maybe not me, but like maybe me, have just constantly, but definitely me. They don't really have that anymore because they are obviously so good at the thing that they do. And so they go to Twitter to have someone else say it for them.
Yeah. It's funny how this team really is. I mean, it's so mature and professional and by the book and nothing phases us and focus on the goal at times. But then they waft into this kind of pettiness every now and then. We see it on Twitter. And I'm not saying that's a bad thing. I kind of like it. It kind of shows how real they are.
Yeah.
Like the bus thing when the Raiders won. They took a lap around Arrowhead. To me, it's like, okay, good for them. Whatever they celebrated. That pissed them off. Andy Reid couldn't hold that in.
He didn't like it.
Yeah. And then so you say you have Chris Jones talking about like, no, I read everything. It really affects me, good and bad. Like, okay, refreshing. And guys like Chris Jones and Frank Clark are gonna shoot you straight. They're gonna tell you the truth. And even Patrick Mahomes, they're like, do you feel disrespected? No, people, I don't feel disrespected at all. But you hear stuff like we're not winning games by enough points. Apparently, that's a stat.
That was the best clip.
We had salty Patrick Mahomes yesterday, and that was a lot of fun. He threw out his birth date. He said he's been watching his Law and Order because it's premeditated. And so that was fun. I like real answers from people, whether we want to hear it or not, whether it's the right thing to say or not. I feel like a lot of times we bemoan these athletes for throwing out cliches and never saying anything, and then when they do, we
get on them,
pounce on them again.
Oh,
What do you can't say that. Shut up! Last week we were begging him to say something like that.
Literally what we want them to do.
100%.
Just enjoy it. It's fun.
Yeah. No, the reason the pressers from yesterday did so little for me is because there was the Mahomes stuff there, and then the stuff about being on social media. But everything else was very straight-laced, was very just sort of good football team. We played them early in the year. They're a good football team. Then they're still a good football team. But you're right. I just find the dichotomy of that to be very interesting, where you get like the difference between the version of Tyrann Mathieu that we talk to, and especially locker room Tyrann Mathieu, and remember when we can go into locker rooms and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
He is such a soft-spoken, thoughtful,
he's night and day on
sort
the
of
field,
dude.
and
then you have on the field Mathieu,
maniac,
which I think is also Twitter Tyrann Mathieu sometimes. Twitter Tyrann Mathieu can occasionally be both. That's my theory.
Yeah,
is you occasionally get on field Tyrann Mathieu. You occasionally get him on Twitter right after a game.
Mm-hmm. I want to see the transformation whenever it happens. Whether he
turns
on his
green.
jersey,
Yeah,
right. It's when does he turn into the Hulk?
Yeah.
I want to see that.
So I remember listening to Michael Strahan just within the last year do an interview on a podcast, and how he's obviously the guy's on TV. He's a very nice guy. The smile, he would always say with the second he stepped on a field, it was like flipping a switch. He was like, I wanted to hurt people. Like having the ability to go back and forth between being again, a very calm. I imagine Mitchell Schwartz has got some of that, right? He's a very quiet guy, but also you can't play right tackle that well unless you kind of want to go out and just hit somebody.
I've heard guys say they imagine the guy across from them harming their family or doing something horrible to people they love. And so that's how some of them get there. But you're right. I mean, Tyrann Mathieu is night and day. This cool, composed, great guy to talk to, always smiling, isn't ever going to clap back at a question, is always going to be cooperative. And then on the field, and he is a master at taking it just to the very limit of what an official's going to put up with.
That's true.
And then finally backing down.
He knows that line.
And I feel like with him, the line's extended further than other guys. He'll make a tackle, then he'll get up and shove the guy back down. I'm like, oh, that's going to be foul. Oh, it's not. Oh.
All right.
Tyrann Mathieu knows how far to take it.
Yep.
How much did you enjoy Josh Allen throwing a football from the ground into Chris Jones's face last week?
That was his most accurate pass, I thought.
I'm pretty sure I tweeted that right as that happened.
A lot of people did.
Pretty good joke.
That was
a lot of people did.
So
That's true.
dumb.
A lot of people did. I was not first by any means.
That was so. I mean, listen, the game for all intents and purposes was over, but they still had a sliver of hope when they had this falling down moment. First of all, they I'm trying to my games are running. Oh, they go for 2 there instead of kicking the PAT. If you kick the PAT, you're down 16, which is 2 possessions. Granted, it's a long 2 possessions. But it's better than being down 17, which is what they were when the 2-point conversion wasn't made.
They were going to have to get 2 2-point conversions
anyway
at some point.
But, I mean, you want to keep the game alive, and when you don't get that 2-point conversion there, the game's pretty much over, right? But they have the ball, they're driving, and this bad play happens, and then they just have this Michael Douglas falling down moment, just this road rage, and it's all over. I'm like, you're driving to score here. You almost took your team out of field. I don't know how 3 penalties on one team equals 1 on the other, but it's
I don't
equal
know
math.
either.
It's equal.
That one surprised
it's
me.
Equal sign.
In the moment.
There's no greater than or less than sign between them. It's an equal sign.
At that moment, if you're the Bills, you just got to have multiple guys just run out there and be like, hey, this is my shot. I can go commit a personal foul, and it's just going to offset.
We've seen one on the Chiefs. Everybody go.
Let's just go at it.
Yeah, so they almost ruined the field goal. They are able to kick the field goal, and then they get or they just got the onside kick. The Chiefs have it, And then they commit another personal foul. They're pinballing Austin Ryder around, which I'm sure he said something. And that gets another one that gives them a first down. They were down 2 possessions at that point. They had a chance to get the ball back and just at least make it interesting. But no, it's over. We're just gonna commit all these fouls. I thought that was an odd time for all of that.
I was surprised in the moment to realize that 3 equaled 1. Because I feel like I got a pretty good grasp.
I've seen that plenty of times.
Yeah.
It's just a stupid rule.
Yeah, because I just thought, well, it's a dead ball foul, so they probably... Because here's the thing, to Rudy's point, what if you just have 53 Buffalo Bills take off their helmet and just start Myles Garretting every single member of... Like they just all circle Travis Kelce.
Right.
And just beat him with their helmets for like 3 straight minutes. Those all... But Travis Kelce says, hey, bleep you. Does that all offsets? That doesn't feel right.
So I've seen a high school game before where things were way out of hand. The winning team scores again. It's late. There are 3 personal fouls on the losing team on the PAT. Right? They're going nuts. They're having one of these Bills falling down moments. 45 yards in penalties for the kickoff. So the winning team kicks off from the opposing team's 10-yard line.
Oh my goodness.
Sorry, would have been 40. Yeah, because they kick off from the 40, so it's 45 yards. It would have been the 15-yard line.
Yeah.
15, okay.
The 15-yard line.
They were in the red zone.
Yes.
They were kicking
and
off from the red
so I'm
zone.
like, if you're not up by 50 at this point, how awesome! You have to onside kick there.
Yeah, that's the difference between being on the 10 and the 15 is that from the 10, there's not a way to legally kick
There's
that
no
football
way,
and
unless
recover
he
it.
jumps up and
unless someone else touches
Yeah.
it. But if you're doing it from the 15, you got a 5-yard landing spot. You've got to nail.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got to try for that. I mean,
sure.
even
You
up 50. 'cause
absolutely.
It's
Well,
the only play.
Because even if you kick it
or
short,
the easiest touchback ever, just move the ball back 5 yards.
If you kick it a little short, it's 9 yards down the field, then they're starting their drive
Well,
at
it was
the 6.
it was the
That's
case
true.
of this team's already committed 3 personal fouls. If we rub it in with an onside kick here, we may not get out of here
It's gonna be a
alive.
fight.
That's true.
So it was amazing, and they just booted it out of the end zone. I'm like, how cool would that be to see an onside kick from the 15 and like, the receiving team recovered it at the 3.
Yeah, I would like to see that. Although, yeah, I guess it could have ended in some sort of absolute mayhem.
Yes,
kind of ruining the
toughen the kids.
Yeah, listen, you got to do it. You got to do it
It's
for
a-
the kids.
It's a rough world out there.
Mick, so you are headed to Tampa when?
Thursday morning early.
Are you there through the game then? On
Yeah, I'm not radio.
41?
I've never understood radio people. We're gonna go down there for like 10 days and then leave on Friday before the actual. Why?
I mean, I'm obviously the wrong person to ask about that. Like, I don't know. I'm sorry.
That's how
Can't
everybody
answer a
does it.
rhetorical question. Yeah,
So no,
that's
we
the way
actually
it's
go and cover the game.
Wow.
And
big Mick Shaffer.
Yeah, I know. I'm joking
Wait, you
around.
have to cover these games?
I know.
Oh, you're not just
But
watching.
at least it's not. I was there for parts of 11 days last year.
Wow.
This
It's a
year's gonna
long
be parts
time
of
to be in
just 5.
Miami.
That's good.
So that'll be better, and it's gonna be different. I don't know. I mean, all these events, so many of them are virtual. We're lining up story ideas. That goat story just might have to run every show.
It should. It was great. Well, listen, we got to go, Mick, but I will let you know. I will remind you, my family's house is probably 20 minutes outside of Tampa, so you need to crash somewhere.
That's right.
You got a couch with your name on it.
And your dad's traveling this week.
Is he? I'm gonna check on that. I'm gonna work on that. All right. Well, I gotta go right now. Say goodbye to my mom.
Bye, Michelle.
You're listening to Almost Entirely Sports with Joshua Brisco on Sports Radio